Yo, what is up, everybody? It is time for the Jason Masoud Show, episode 10. I got an awesome guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
I am of a legend. If you don't know who I am, you're missing out on life. I'm of a legend. I stream, I YouTube, and I do other things on the street at night that I don't talk about on stream for a little bit of the, got to keep the stream going. The show must go on. That's about it.
Wait
I'm
a
also a
minute.
lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're also a lawyer.
Forgot it on the side, on the day.
You're also a
daytime
lawyer.
job.
No big deal, right? Dude, okay.
Yeah. Nobody cares about that part.
Bro, so I remember when I first followed you, man. And then I remember one of your captions for your stream was, I'm a lawyer, ask me for advice about like music something. It was something along those lines. And I read it.
Yeah.
I read it and I was like, bro, this guy's not a lawyer. He's trolling, right? So I went into your stream. I was like, bro, are you really a lawyer? And your response was, it's illegal to lie about being a lawyer in California. And I was like, what? You're an actual lawyer. Bro, can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I don't have any lawyer friends at all. How did you...
You do now.
So what made you get into being a lawyer? Like, you had to go through a lot of schooling, right?
This is exactly what made me get into being a lawyer. I loved music. I'm not even kidding. Okay, this is honestly the story. In 6th grade, my cousin's like, we should film a music video. I was like, okay. He's like, but we need to have a band first. So let's make a band. I'm like, okay. And this is how we made a band with our friends. All right, you play bass, you play guitar. Do you know what the drums are? Yeah? All right, you're on drums and so-and-so's vocals. I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, we're writing the coolest music we've ever thought of, right? I mean, 6th grade, just picked up our instruments. And I'm like, dude, people are going to steal our stuff. Like, people are going to totally jack this. Our like four note chord progressions.
Right.
They're going to take it. So I was like, we got to learn how to protect our music. So I went to Barnes & Noble. That used to be a bookstore back in like the ancient times. There's like the store, right?
Yeah,
it's like a big house, big room, and there's like books in it with like pages. And I found a copyright music book. It was like made for like musicians. And I read the whole thing. I was like, dude, this is sweet. And it was written by lawyers and stuff. I was like, if I could like learn this stuff and do it as my job, I'd love it. And that's what I did. Like from that point on, I was like, I want to do this. There were a lot of bumps in the road on the way, but I was like, this is what I want to do. So
that's how
I
it all
ended up going to law
started.
school and loved it. Yeah, it was because of music, believe it or not.
Bro, that's crazy. So it started because of music, and then you went into Barnes and Nobles. You picked up a book that you loved, and that was it. You were like, all right, this is the path that I'm going to go down. And tell me a little bit about the path, because I don't know too much about being a lawyer, but I know that you have to go through, you got to go through hell when it comes to school to actually get that degree and actually become a lawyer, right? Like, how was the whole process, like, out of high school? What was it like?
So out of high school, you apply to go to college, right? You could go to a community college or university, whatever. At the end of the day, you need a bachelor's degree. That's it. You need 2 things: a bachelor's degree, well, 3 things: a bachelor's degree, an LSAT score, which is the LSAT, right? It's like, I'll explain that in a minute if you want.
Sure.
And like a paycheck, basically. For me, the paycheck was paid by Uncle Sam. Thank you very much, with student loans. But basically, that's all I care about. If you have an LSAT score and you have a degree, it could be in anything. In medicine, you have to have like science and stuff like as a background. Law, it's just anything. As long as you're just convincing them to take you into their school. You go to school. For law school, it's 3 years in the US. In like overseas, there's like different processes and they have different setups.
So do you get a bachelor's degree and then you get into law school?
Right.
Okay,
Get a bachelor's degree, then you apply to law school. You can apply like before you get your bachelor's, like kind of like how you do for high school, right?
Right.
You apply to college like, senior year before you're done, because then, so you don't close, you can close the gap. And that's what I did.
Wow, that's okay. So tell me a little bit about law school, man. Like, how was that? How was the experience?
Law school is interesting, guys. It's like, so there's something called the Socratic method. If you have ever heard of it, it's scarier than it even sounds. So like, basically you walk in. Okay, law school is just like, they don't give you like homework necessarily, right? You just walk in, and this is like me. I'm not like the best student, I'll be honest. I was just like, yeah, we do look like brothers.
Yeah.
I wasn't the best student. I just straight up like kind of winged my whole way through life. And I walk into law school, right? And they're like, you. I'm like, huh? And they're like, what is requirement for a contract? And you're like, what the hell, man? It's like my first day. They're like, what is the case like what is the case Jenkins versus Jones in 2007? What did it say? What did it stand for? Like, I just read like an 800-page Jenkins versus Jones. I don't know what it stands for. It's like, what's the one rule that came out of it? I'm like, dude, these guys, so they teach you by just asking you questions and you just try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. And then
Wow.
they like guide your thinking. Like the good teachers guide your thinking. Some professors let you keep going and going and going. And at the end, they're like, no, you're wrong. That's not what it says. And you're
Wow,
like, and it's like,
really?
yeah. And you have to go back to the drawing board. And you're like, what the hell did I get wrong? I don't understand.
Bro, that's crazy. Me and my girlfriend are watching this show on Netflix called How to Get Away with Murder. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it. My sister told me about it.
So it's essentially about this lawyer who also teaches at a law school. And I thought this was kind of made up for Netflix. That like usually her class setting is her walking in to this giant class. They they
Right.
talk about a case that they're gonna be doing, and then she starts calling on random students like, oh, how are we gonna approach this? What are we gonna do to win this case? And it was like a lot of like interaction in there. And I was like, is that really what law school is like? And I mean, I guess yeah, it is, right? To an extent. I mean, I'm
Sort
sure
of.
there's more to it.
No, it's basically all that. So like, my school didn't teach that way. My school was kind of like a different approach. It was less specific skills and more thinking skills. So it was like, this is literally what they would say. They would say, what does this case mean? Like, what does it mean in the bigger picture of law? If you're talking about contracts, let's say, and there'll be like 10 cases about like what you need for an offer. What does an offer mean? And the way that it would happen, we'd walk in and they'd say, you, like just like I said, what does case blah 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 say about what an offer is? You're like, and then you start to get good at it. You're like, oh, they said that an offer has to be like ready to be accepted. Like it has to be legit. And like, oh, okay, now we're building pieces of what this means. But they wouldn't teach us like how do we approach this case. They would be like, it's more of like, what is the current status of the law? How do you figure it out? And is it like, should we change it? And is it correct? Like, how does
Oh
that make
wow.
sense? So it was a fun exercise. If you want to learn how to run a society, go to law school, but then don't be a lawyer.
Oh man,
That's how
dude,
it is.
that is so crazy. Now, can you tell us maybe like some crazy stories that you had in law school? I'm sure you have a bunch, like crazy
Oh my
experiences or
god.
encounters with some crazy people. Because I mean, there's
So
probably people out there who join law school for the wrong reasons, right?
I went to a school that like had a lot of people that really wanted to be there, and I was again the bad student, right? I just like would wing it. I'm like, hey guys, it's like I'm like, what? There's no homework. They're like, your grade. Okay, get this. In my school, your grade was based on one test at the end of the quarter or at the end of the semester.
That's
One test,
terrifying.
100%.
That
Yeah,
is
it's a
terrifying,
4-hour test.
bro.
Yeah, 4-hour test, and you think it's easy because they're like, it's open book. Like I'm like, oh, it's an open book. Get out of here. It's like they're not testing you on memorization. Like you can have all the law in front of you. They're testing you on how to analyze every single situation and how it like plays into the bigger hand, and then also how it's like sometimes things are messed up. Like this conflicts with this, and how are you going to navigate that? That's what they're testing, and it's 4 hours, 2 questions. It's nuts. I'm like telling you. So I walked in there. This is the crazy story, right? I walked in there like totally winging it.
Uh
Um, I got like it wasn't easy, but I had a great group of friends that kind of like pulled me up like, dude, we got to figure this out, and we did well. But my very last year, I was like on like senioritis times 20. Okay, like just I'm done.
huh.
I'm over it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved my school. I loved the people I was with, but I was like, whatever, man. I figured this out. I walked into oh, okay. So I went to a class. I didn't remember how many times I went to it, but I just stopped going to it. Okay, this is just not. I'm not a good example here. Um, I show up. Oh, and then I get an email from the professor, and she's like, "Hey, are you coming tomorrow?" And I'm like, yeah, like I can." I'm like, I
Yeah,
didn't know how to
I
like
can be
express
there,
it.
I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say. It was like pretty embarrassing. And she's like, because I've been calling on you and you haven't been there. I was like, oh crap. So like
Oh.
that's bad. That's really bad. So I don't know how detailed you want the story to be, but basically it was I walked into the class the next day. I did the reading, right? And the reading was like it was like property law. It was like trusts and estates and wills and all that. So it comes from like old English law. Like we took that from them and we built on it from there. So it's like super old. I'm like reading this case. It's like the 1400s or 1600s. I was like, I don't know. We're done. Like I understood the gist of current status of law. That's all I needed, right?
Right.
So I go into class expecting her to call on me. Boom. Right away. Oh, so first of all, I open my laptop and I open Trusts and Estates, like my notes, and all I had was a blank Word document that said Trusts and Estates. And it was like, January 10th. And this is like in like May, okay? Or like in April. I'm like, fudge. I don't have any notes. I don't know anything. All I knew was that reading from the night before. She walks in and she straight up calls me. She's like, Mr. Legend. I'm like, yeah. She's like, tell us what the rule against perpetuities is. And I was like, okay, so like it's basically this. And I tell her what it is. And she goes, okay, but did you read the cases? I was like, yeah, I read the cases. And she's like, all right, what did the case say? I was like, honestly, I straight up said this. I'm not kidding. I'm like, honestly, I read it, but it was like from the 1400s. It was a British case, and we seceded from the British a long time ago. So I figured like just get to the point of it. And the whole class turned around, like, what the hell? A bunch of them were like second years. I was the third year by then. I was like over it.
Yeah.
And she's like, did anyone else do the reading? And she goes, Smithers or whatever. And he goes, oh, my dog ate my homework. I didn't like, he didn't know what to say. And so I raised my hand again. I was like, it basically says this. And she's like, right. It's just, people thought I was a screw up, but look at me now.
So they were right. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so a couple people said something in the chat. So Big Boy on Fire said, I'm good at arguing. Should I go to law school? What do you think?
Law school isn't about... Okay, when people say arguing, I think they mean like arguing on the street. And legal arguments are a lot different. But if you are good at arguing... If you see my cousin Vinny, and you're that kind of arguing, then yeah, you can go to law school. Yeah. I would say that.
Oh, man.
And I'm not even kidding.
Deathbringer said, when I studied anatomy and physiology, there was so much rote memorization. Many people in class would nail that and totally miss any concepts involved.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why I don't like memorizing. I'm very bad at memorizing. I remember by stories. I don't remember by like sitting there and memorizing. That's why I was good at the LSAT. The LSAT, they publish every single LSAT. The test, that's the admissions test for law school, law school admissions test, LSAT. That exam is all about the way to think. It's not about, it's like analyzing. It's logic. It's not about memorizing. It's like math.
Ah, okay. Wow, that's interesting, man. This is all really cool info because like I've never had a conversation like this. So I'm learning a lot from your experience and your stories. This is really cool. So now you're a lawyer, right? You're a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us about your work, like, or maybe about like some cases? I mean, don't go into detail, but can you give us like a brief description of like maybe something funny or something cool that happened or whatever,
Let me think. So I can tell you. So I'm super private about that stuff because the legal profession is pretty old school, and I don't know how they would take it if they knew I was streaming. You know what? It's like weird. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
I don't know. Like, but here, I'll tell you guys some stuff. So like one interesting story I did, and it's a while back, as I was working with, excuse me, a copyright like entertainment firm, and I love these guys. These guys were brilliant guys. Okay, and they're really cool. Like they weren't like nerds. Like they were cool guys that just had big brains, and they just knew how to attack a problem. And we had a client come in to sue. I forgot what company, but the company that produced Bruno, the movie Bruno, Sacha Baron Cohen.
No, bro, I love that movie, man. That movie is awesome, bro.
I can only tell you obviously what was filed in the lawsuit because that's public, but like, essentially, the concept was that the movie Bruno, the allegation was that the movie Bruno lifted a joke idea from like our client. Now here's the thing. An idea is not, you can't copyright an idea. Like the idea of having a podcast, you can't copyright. This specific expression of that idea, this podcast, me and you on video, that's yours. No one can ever touch that without your permission.
Right.
Okay. So our thing was, okay, where do you draw the line though? Because like it's like almost scene for scene from a screenplay, right? And it's like without the scene for scene moves, it's not really the same joke. So like they lifted it. And then on top of that, in the Ninth Circuit, which California is in, they've developed copyright law a lot more than the rest of the country. So they've come up with rules that like, because in Hollywood, people exchange music, people exchange like screenplays all the time.
Right.
Protect people and incentivize that. So they said if you have access to the original work and your alleged infringing work close to it, then there's going to be an alley. It's a stronger correlation that you probably lifted it, right? So that was the game. At the end of the day, the court didn't side with us, and it's because there's a case that's out there, and it's Jeff Foxworthy who sued, I think, or was sued about a joke that was still stolen from him and put on a T-shirt. And
Wow.
they said jokes are not copyrightable. Basically, they're not protected by copyright. I don't know if that's the current state of the law
Wait,
now, but that was a while ago.
wait, are you serious? Okay, because to me, I mean, that should be copyrighted, just like the way music is. If somebody constructs a joke and they're actually telling that joke to an audience, and it's part of their show, part of their skit, doesn't that belong to them at that point, right? Or that
So
it doesn't
so
work
the
like
way
that?
that I remember that the way that that ruling came down, not ours, but the one for Jeff Foxworthy, was only the exact expression of it. Or like, super close. So like it was like something like I forgot what it was. I forgot what his joke was. I mean, it was like in detail in this court case that I was reading to figure out the rule. But essentially, uh what I figured, I don't know if this is the state of the law now, but it was like if you're saying basically the same joke, but it's not like taken word for word,
Uh huh.
then it's not copyright infringement, which I don't think I agree with. Um,
Yeah.
but
Wow. That dude. That
you might be
okay.
a redneck. Maybe it was that joke. There's something about redneck stuff, and like that sounds familiar, Osak. It was something about that, and it was like so messed up because like that's like the genius part was taken. The genius part was the joke, like the
Right.
setup and the punch, and like if you just lift that, then or if like what if it's a catchphrase, but it's not like unique enough. It's just a catchphrase. You can't protect that. You might be able to protect it under trademark, but that's harder even because it's like
Wow,
catchphrase.
really? Dude, that is really crazy, man. I know that the laws must get kind of tricky depending on the circumstance. Oh, somebody mentioned Amy Schumer and Mind of Yeah, I was thinking of Mind of Mencia because I remember, I don't know if you guys have seen the YouTube video where Carlos Mencia is on stage and he's telling a joke, and then Joe Rogan gets on the stage and he's like, "Bro, you're a fucking thief. You stole this joke
Yeah,
from this person."
yeah,
I forgot who the person
yeah.
was, but Joe Rogan just straight up called him out. And
Right,
I don't think Carlos Mencia ever got sued for it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think
right.
he ever got
I don't
sued
think
for
so.
it.
I don't think so.
But the thing is, Joe Rogan called him out, and that video went viral. So he did kind of lose his career because I stopped hearing about him. He used to have a show
Right,
on
same.
not Cartoon Network, on Comedy
Um,
Central.
yes,
And dude, he was
yes.
huge, man. He was like big time. And then
Right,
boom, he just fell off. And you know what? That's kind of cool. That's really cool on Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan's a comedian. If you're a comedian, man, like that is such a hard craft because you're constructing things that have to be original. You're also trying to look for information, things that are current that people are going to relate to, but you also got to come
right,
up with a punchline to deliver it so the audience really just like connects with you and laughs and has a good time. And on top of that, when you write the joke, you got to go on stage and eat shit about 100 times before that joke actually
right,
works. And it's like
right.
it's so tough. And for a comedian to steal another comedian's joke, that is disgusting, man. That is just like a musician stealing somebody else's song. That is something that requires a lot of hard work and a lot of time and a lot of effort. And if somebody steals something that's an original idea from somebody, I think there should be consequences. And it kind of sucks that there's like these little rules where people can get away with it. But then you got a dude like Joe Rogan who might just get up on stage and call you out, you know?
Right, right. So they used to. So it's a huge problem apparently in the comedy world. So like there was a story that I read. I see a lot of good comments in the chat, and I'll loop back to those when you think we should. But
You could
there was
whenever
a
you'd
good
like.
story. Okay, sounds good. There was a good story that I forgot where I read it, but that like in the comedy clubs around LA back in the whatever days, 80s, 70s, 80s, there would be like a red light that would come on. They have a red light to tell you when your time is up, basically.
Uh-huh.
But they would flash the red light in a secret, like some sequence, a certain sequence, to tell people that Robin Williams was in the house. Is he would lift jokes off of smaller comedians. I mean, think about it. If like if you can't protect it exactly, right? Like music,
Yeah.
you record a song, no one can touch it, right? It's yours. So they can't really lift it. But a joke, all they have to do is reword it and hit the same punchline. And if you and I are small time in a club and we're starting out with our jokes, and some big guy comes in, Carlos Mencia, comes in and steals it, how the hell is anyone going to know it's our joke? There's no
Right.
way.
Yeah,
He's going to post it
exactly.
on his like million follower YouTube and we're done. So like it's bad.
Wow.
Carlos
Wait. Okay. Wait.
Mencia.
Yeah. I know. I saw that Carlos Mencia, bro. That is beautiful. South Park nailed him too. Yeah. That's the thing that I
Yep.
love about South Park, dude. They take these current topics and they just create this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful depiction of it using comedy and these like cartoon
Right.
characters. And dude, it's just so awesome, man. It's so awesome.
Right.
But what you're saying is Robin Williams used to also steal jokes?
I'm saying what I read is that they say Robin Williams used to steal jokes.
Wow, man.
The
Because you know
stand-up.
what?
But you know what? I
Go
don't see
ahead.
him as a stand-up artist. I see him as an actor. I see him as a lot more than that. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but it sucks to, it just sucks.
I'm just going to pretend like you never said that because, dude, Robin
I know
Williams
it
is one of
hurts.
my favorite humans ever. And, dude, if you've ever seen any interview he's been a part of, bro, he
Mhm.
literally goes in there and he just fucking takes over. He completely takes over. And his his improv skills are just absolutely amazing. He just starts creating these skits on the spot. He was a magical, magical, magical person, very, very talented. And if he did steal jokes, I'm just gonna pretend like he didn't because I love him. I
You
love
know
him
what?
so
Nobody's
much.
nobody's perfect. Nobody's
No,
perfect.
nobody's perfect.
It's not like a crazy like, we're hearing a lot more stuff about other people, right? So it's like
Right.
I'll accept in this time, in this day and age, if Hollywood's worst, I mean, if this is Hollywood's like worst stealing jokes, I'll take that.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously, it's
exactly.
not. But
I'm just gonna call it inspiration. He would go there and he would get inspired by these jokes and maybe accidentally write a joke that was very similar, but it was a complete
right,
accident.
right. That was
Somebody
a
said
lawyer tap dancing around defamation against Robin Williams. You can't defame a dead person.
that's
Um,
hilarious.
plus,
Oh,
I'm just that's maybe the journalist in me. I don't want to say something untrue. My bachelor's degree is in journalism, so it kind of goes
oh,
hand in hand with the stuff I do.
real? Oh, okay. So
Storytelling.
you're also a journalist. Can you tell us a little bit
No,
about that?
I never worked as a journalist. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
I studied something really cool called like it's like creative nonfiction is what they call it. It's like a journalism that's not like the regular news, but it's like long form story that sounds like fiction. It like reads like fiction, like it was dark, stormy night, blah blah blah. You write like that.
Uh
You
huh.
tell the story like that, but it has to be 100% true.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of cool. So like a perfect storm, that's like a really good book of an example of like that kind of journalism. A Perfect Storm was a book, and they made it a movie with George Clooney. I mean, the guy like studied everything he could. The only thing he couldn't know is like the final moments of the guy, the crew that like spoiler, huh? The crew that dies. So yeah, that's the kind of thing. Let's see. We have Osok said something really interesting. My best trial lawyer studied theater. Did you or did do you get your performance from music? Okay, that's a really good question. So I have done trials, like jury trials, and I was training for it at one point. And like something that like I had like more experienced lawyers like helping me out and stuff.
Uh huh.
And one person said, "Dude, you got to like increase your voice. Like, what are you doing?" Because I'd be like, "Your Honor, I'm holding this document. It's like, well," and he's like, "Because you're shy, right?" And I was like I was in a room, like I wasn't even in a court or anything. I was just like
Right.
shy. It's like he's like, "No, no, no, no. You gotta like do it 10 times louder." I was like, "Okay." I went home that night. I was pretty annoyed with myself. I was like, "Man, I'm not like a shy person usually," and so I was trying to figure out what it is. I was like, "You know what? I just need to get into a character." And I was eating my dinner and I was watching Ocean's 11. And I was like, I'm gonna just be like, Brad Pitt and George Clooney like blended, just like a version of
Ooh.
that, like some suave, I'm wearing a suit, like why not? And so I went in the like next day and like kind of like did more exercises. and then from that point on, I just like assumed a character, and then I just became myself. Like eventually, like when I would do trials. So yeah, definitely theater.
Wow.
There's like a lot. Like I had a judge tell me there was a judge that I was in front of. He passed away, and I did a trial in front of him, and he asked me to go to his chambers after. He's like, I'm like, oh shoot, like what have I done? You know?
Yeah.
And like he came in and he's like, you know, I do stand up comedy, right? You know, I do stand up comedy. I do stand up comedy. I was like, okay. He's a very quirky guy.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, he's like, I do stand up comedy, and you are doing great, but you had like this one joke because I say jokes and I say like I do weird stuff if
Uh-huh.
I have a trial because you got to keep them entertained. You know,
Yeah,
this is a
exactly.
jury that's gonna get bored of whatever the hell you're talking about.
Right.
So like he was like, I did this one move and like whatever. There was a punchline and it was like a big like whoa moment, and
Uh-huh.
and it's funny too at the same time. He's like, I loved that. I loved that. But you need to hold the pause like 10 times longer. In your head, it will feel like 10 times longer. For us, it'll be like one extra second that will like bring that like gravitas. I was like,
Suspense,
okay,
right? Just yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So they're waiting for it. Come on, say it already. Yeah.
yeah. So that's like, that was a judge who was a stand up comic telling me how to do like a live trial. Like, you know, in front of people, you gotta perform. Definitely. Never go to a
Wow.
trial lawyer's wedding. You did it once. The toast took over 3 hours. They love to hear themselves talk. Yeah, that's true.
Is
That's
that
very
true?
true, right?
Dude,
When
that
people
is
do
so
trials, it's
crazy.
fun.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you really have to get into it in there. It essentially,
yeah,
I mean, it's a performance, right? To a certain extent. Obviously, you have to
100%.
present the facts, and you know you have to make sense. You have to be logical, but you
Yeah,
also have to sell it, right? Almost like a musician going on stage. You don't want to be the musician who's just standing there playing the chords. You know, you want to be rocking
right,
out. If it's time to solo, you want to go up to that crowd and just start shredding and wailing.
right,
I mean, it's the same way, right? You have to sell it so they believe you, so
right,
they want to side with you, and that's, dude, that is very
right.
interesting. That takes a lot of balls, man. In the beginning, when you were first doing that, was it terrifying? That sounds absolutely
No,
terrifying, dude. No,
no.
it is pretty
Right
easy for
after,
you.
I'm telling you, right after that night where I was like, no, I'm just gonna be a character, like some version of me that's like kind of like these Ocean's 11 guys. Like I felt like it wasn't me. It was me, but it wasn't like, you know, there was like a layer of me like before me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like when you turn on the performance, like you just it's okay. Like I'm just like I can go and like I'm saying everything I'm thinking, but I have this like this strange film like mentally in front of me that seems like no one can pierce it. Like it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it made me not shy like to do public speaking at all. Like I have no problem doing it.
Wow, man, that's a really good point because I feel like if you flip that mindset and you take yourself out of it, then it's not even
Yeah.
you anymore and you have nothing to worry about. You know, like your
Right.
insecurities or whatever, you know, the back of your head is telling you, that doesn't matter anymore because you're somebody else. So you can do whatever the hell you want without worrying.
Totally.
And
Totally.
that's a good point. And that's something that you know, as a musician, I try to do
Mm.
as well when I'm performing, especially bigger shows with stages and lights and big crowds. You know, I want to go up there and I want to put on a show. And I don't want to ever second guess myself because if you try to go for something and you second guess yourself, the
Yeah.
audience can see it. If you hesitate,
Totally.
it's
Totally.
gonna,
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you hesitate, it'll go from being amazing and awesome to just being really cringy, like, oh wow, look at this guy. He's fucking trying to go for something that he can't really pull off. And that, dude,
Right.
that is really cool because I never really made that connection with like a lawyer, you know, and that it's
Right.
so true, you know. I guess you can say it's true in a lot of different crafts, especially when in terms of public speaking or performing or doing anything in front of people, you know.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point. So it is if you just kind of second guess yourself, right? Then it's like the illusion is pierced. It's like this guy isn't he's acting.
Yeah,
Like it's like no, I am just this there's a version of me that you guys are seeing right now and this is what he wants to do. You know,
yeah, yeah.
this is performance. This is like rock star Jason performing now. He's different than like podcast Jason. And it's
Right.
all Jason, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like this is what on stage Jason wants to do. So I'm gonna let him do whatever he wants to do. He's just gonna go. You know, so like to answer Osak's question, is the main difficulty being that character? I'm not like acting like you know the first time maybe I felt like I wasn't acting but I was like trying to remember to keep my voice. Now it's just like if I have to do a trial it's like what I need to study the facts. I need to know everything really well. I need to study the law really well, but the performance part of it is like I've got it in the bag, man. It's like no problem. It's just, I'm just being me.
Wow.
I have like a version of me that's like I speak up. And it's funny because like I just recently heard of this like a couple years ago, the concept of like code switching. Have you heard of that?
I haven't. No, can you explain it?
It's basically like when you're with a certain crowd, a certain side of you like is triggered and like you speak a certain way. And then when you're with a different crowd, a different side of you that exists is triggered and you speak a certain way. So
Right.
like I noticed it, and I've told like other lawyers that like ask me for help on like, prepping for a trial. I've noticed it like in trial where like you say, yeah, Bombers is like that. Bombers is a great example of that. We talked about that in one of my streams when we were talking about cultures and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it also happens in court. So like I'll be like straight up, like I'll be, you know, to a jury like this guy over here, he's like telling you this, but he's lying. He's totally lying. Like I'll speak like that. I mean, this guy's
Uh-huh.
totally lying. You guys know he's totally lying. And the judge will say like, counsel, blah blah. I was like, Your Honor, the witness, I have a right to, blah, blah. Like I just totally changed tones when I'm talking to the judge, and it happens like in a second, and I didn't even
Yeah.
notice it. It's just like hilarious though, because it's like that's how it is. So they're all me. They're all versions of me. It's like me talking to a judge, me talking to a jury. Me talking to a jury is closest. I mean, it's like me talking to you right now. It's
Uh-huh.
extremely me. It's like I'm totally myself. I just have to like, be careful what I say because I can't like say anything that's like not fair. Like there's certain rules of what people can say, what lawyers can say and all that stuff. You don't want to say
Right.
anything unfair because it just compromises the system. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
besides that, I'm just being like ridiculous. And I've like brought up Star Wars. I've like I've joked around. I've like made fun of things that people have clearly lied about. I'm like, this guy's totally lying. He's saying blah blah blah. You believe that? You guys like, you know what I mean? I've just
Yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
totally me, and it's hilarious because like, I've gone against these like lawyers that are like, you know,
Yeah, very
honky tonk, blah
like,
blah. And
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, no, it's like, and they lose, and they're like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, you just got to be real. You got to be real with these people.
Yeah, and that, dude, that's a beautiful approach that you have because I mean, the people who are sitting on the jury, I mean, they're not lawyers, right? They're just a
Mm-mm.
bunch of different people who do different things. I mean, essentially, they're just humans, right? They're just chilling, and they're watching
Right.
this case, and they're gonna side with the person that they feel an emotional connection with, right? And if you're being
A
yourself and
lot
you're
of times.
bringing up Star Wars, dude, there's some people out there. If you bring up Star Wars, you're my best fucking friend, bro. You like
Right,
Star
right,
Wars. I like Star Wars too. You know what I mean? It just makes you so
right.
much more relatable and more real versus the lawyer who goes up there who's like just a hard ass, who's like really, really dry. Are they really going to side with him versus like somebody who's a little more out there that's being real, that's cracking jokes? I'd probably side with you, man. Like, if I was sitting there, I'd be like, yo, this guy's a fucking legend, bro. I'm going to side with him. You know what I mean? But
Well, I would hope that the jury would side with whatever the law says to side with. But here's the thing: it's like here's how I see it, and it's happened this way. I'm like, look, even if they don't side with me, I want them to hear me out. And
right.
if I could break that barrier, that if I could build a bridge, I should say, not break a barrier, but if I could build a bridge using humor and like just being like real,
Hmm.
then they'll at least listen to what I have to say. And if they decide, hey, it doesn't go your way, it doesn't go my way, and that's fine. And that's you have to do your part.
Right.
Do you try and research the jurors? No, actually, you can't do that in California.
Oh, wow.
They,
Oh, but you could do it in other states.
I don't know about other states. I've never done like any kind of jury type of work, and I've never worked in other states. I've only worked in California. Even though I went to
Ah,
school in another state, I came here to like try to learn here. So
right.
like, yeah, in California, they at least in LA, and I think I want to say in all of California, but at least in LA, they try to make it really hard to know who the jurors are. Um, they like give them numbers, they give them all kinds of different things. Like there's like all these layers, and then to
Right.
unseal the record to see who a juror is, let's say there's misconduct or something, you have a right to look into that, and so you have to know who it is, and you have to call witnesses and all that. To unseal that record, there's like a whole process. It's like they do a lot to protect jurors.
Oh, wow. Where did you go to
Yeah.
school? John
I went
Backman
to
asked. Go ahead.
John Bakeman.
Bakeman, sorry.
Do I say where I went to school?
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have
I
to.
don't know if I should. I haven't made this decision yet. Well, I'll say I went to school on the East Coast. It was very, very cold. Very, 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 very cold. I almost died.
I want to go back to something that you mentioned. I think you called it code switching, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I can totally relate because, dude, sometimes it's so weird, man. I'll be with a group of friends, like the people that I've known for pretty much my whole childhood, or from a very young age. I get with
Right.
them. As soon as I see them, it's like, bro, screw you. We start cracking jokes. We're just talking crap to each
Right.
other. Like, I am not afraid to just be exactly who I am, and I'm super energetic, super outgoing. But then I'll be put in another setting where I'm hanging out with another group of friends who are still close to me, but I'm a lot more reserved and a lot more quiet. And there have been a lot of times where I sit down and I'm just like, dude, I just want to be myself around anybody. Like, why is it so hard for me to express myself towards certain people? But then when I'm around other people, it's like this other Jason just completely comes out. And I got no fears, and I'm not worried about what other people are going to think or myself looking stupid. And it's actually something that's kind of hard to deal with in social settings, at least for me. But now that you said code switching and you explained it a little bit, it's like, oh, wow, there's actually a term for it. And it totally makes sense. You're not going to be exactly yourself every single time you're around every single person. I mean, it depends on the setting. It depends on who you're talking to and the connection that you have with those people, right?
Right. Well, I would say you are exactly yourself in every one of those settings. You just have different versions of you, but they're
Right.
all you, 100%. So it's like that's a little lawyer move there, but like you know what I'm saying? Like
You've
I really
convinced me.
do feel I do feel like it is me. So here's an interesting one. Um, I noticed that I like, or someone pointed this out. Someone once told me, and like I have these like my two best friends are twins, right?
Mhm.
And then like they have an older brother, and then their older brother has like a best friend. Or when we were growing up, they were like really close. So we all like these guys were older, and we all spoke the same way, and it was a very specific way. I don't know how to explain it, but like it just happened. And we would do it like around each other a lot. And it was like this version of humor that's like mixed in with it. But like the way we would like the tone and the use of words, I don't know what it is. It was a certain way, and it was like it was funny, and people liked it. But like someone pointed out one time, like, why when you guys all get together, why do you guys all talk the same?
Yeah.
And like I'm like, I don't talk. We don't talk the same. We all have our own. Like to me, we all have our own like way of speaking. But it's like,
Right.
no, you guys all sound exactly the same. I'm like, and then I realized, yeah, I guess we do. And I now years like literally like 10 years later, I'm learning that's like probably code switching. That was the experience of that, or
Wow,
version of that.
yeah, yeah, that's very interesting, man. Back when I was younger, I remember well, he's still my best friend. His name's Romel. Whenever me and him would get together, like, okay, so we had a group of friends. We would all hang out. But whenever me and Romel were together with these group of friends, me and him would literally like turn into this we would literally turn into this character, both of us, where we would just start laughing at the stupidest things for absolutely no reason. Like, I remember one time we went into GameStop. It was me, Romel, and maybe like 4 or 5 other friends. We were looking through games. And then my friend Romel pulled out this game case. I forgot what game it was, but it had like the stupid picture on it, right? Stupid animation.
Okay.
He showed it to me. Me and him literally were on the floor laughing our asses off for 15 minutes straight. And then our friends in the back were like, dude, what the hell are these guys doing? To the point where they walked out of the store and me and Romel are just laughing our asses off on the floor. And then like another time, it was only me and my group of friends. And that did not happen at all. Things were a lot more normal and controlled.
Right.
And it just
right.
kind of like, I guess that's the way it is, right? I mean, we
It's
act
weird, like
different.
how you
Yeah,
connect.
exactly.
It's weird
Yeah.
how you connect with like certain people in certain ways. So like okay, we have a friend that's like in our group. Oh shoot, a friend in our group that like would just disappear off the face of the earth. Right now, he's one of those phases off the face of the earth for like a year plus. Like literally, I was like, hey man, I'll call you tomorrow. He's like, okay, call you tomorrow. Call me tomorrow. I call him the next day. He didn't answer, and for like literally 1 year and a half, he did not answer. Okay, and none of us. Like I'm like, hey guys, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. He hasn't answered us. We thought we were talking to you. I was like, no. Totally gone, right off the face of the earth. And then you see him one time, and it's like nothing has changed. Nothing. Like we could talk about everything, like current events, as if we just texted about the current event last night.
Right.
So, oh man, that was so weird what they did with blah blah. It's like it's so weird. I don't understand. That's a relationship I don't understand, but I know that it's like that, and
Right.
so I'm trying to just like ride that wave.
Yeah.
It's like such a
And
weird thing.
honestly, it's a beautiful relationship to have too, because there's other times, at least in my experience, because I could totally relate to that. There are some friends that I don't talk to for years, but when we get together, it's like, dude, it's like 10 years ago. We're hanging out 10 years ago and nothing's changed. We're kids again.
Right.
But then with other people, if I go like a year, 6 months to a year not talking to them, and then we get together, there's that little icebreaker phase where things are just a little bit awkward, and then things start becoming normal, and then boom, things are back to normal.
Yeah.
But there's like
Right,
this
right.
transition that happens where other people, as soon as we see each other, no matter how long it's been, dude, nothing has changed at all. And those
Right,
relationships, I mean, those are honestly really precious. You know, those are beautiful
right, right.
relationships because it doesn't matter how much time goes by. You know that person is always going to have your back, and you're going to have their back, and it's just like this connection that you really can't fake. It just happens. You know, we don't control it, and it's kind of cool.
Right,
You know, it's funny. It's funny to think about.
right. I don't know if this guy that I'm talking about. I don't know if I called him right now. I'm like, well, if I said it was an emergency, he maybe would answer. But if it was like anything less than like, hey, I'm dying or like whatever, I think it would just be like, I think he
Yeah,
wouldn't answer the next call the next day. I just don't understand. Some of them, yeah, like straight up, I can call and be like, hey, I haven't talked to you for like a little bit of time. Try not to let too much time go by.
right.
But like I'll be like, hey, they go, oh hey, I've been trying to reach you for a while. I'm like, emergency. I need you to like tomorrow morning. Can you come pick me up? Blah, blah. Yes, like it's just a yes.
Yeah,
Like that's how we are. Like okay, yes. If you say emergency, you're calling it. That's it. Like there's no more questions asked.
yeah.
And it works that way. And you do it rarely, obviously, but like those are the people I think totally have my back.
Oh
But
yeah.
the one who like would disappear for a year, I have one person in particular that I'm thinking I don't know. I don't know if he would have my back 100%.
Oh, really? Now, is this
Just being honest,
person
bro.
is this person really busy? Because I kind of have the habit of
Yeah,
ignoring
probably.
a lot of phone calls, just because
Oh, really?
I'm always working on music and I'm streaming on Twitch and working on YouTube
Right.
content, TikTok, all this madness that requires like
Yeah.
99% of my time. And if a friend calls me because they want to hang out, a lot of the times I'm just like, fuck, bro, I don't want to hang out right now, man. I'm just gonna call them later, and then I'll accidentally forget. And then 2 weeks will go by, and then I'll call that person back
That's
and be like,
me.
bro,
That's me.
bro, I'm sorry. I've been really busy, dude. I love you. You want to hang out? All right, let's hang out. But I still got shit to do, so can we hang out like next week? You know what I mean? It's like,
That's totally me. Dude,
yeah,
have you ever done this where it's like, "Oh, I really wanna talk to this person, but I need to catch up with them. It's gonna be like a 30-minute conversation. I have like only 10 minutes. I'm gonna call them back at the end of like whatever I'm doing right now." And then it's like, "Oh,
yes,
I need to call them back, but like something just came. Okay, okay, I'll call them after this, or I'll call them on my drive to blah blah blah." And then like your mom will call me. "Oh, really?" It's like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, mom, I'm alive. I'm alive. Yeah, okay." And then like I ran out of time. And it's like this
yeah,
happens to me so many times, and I'm like, who cares? I should just do the 10-minute call and be like, hey, I gotta go, but we'll catch up on
exactly.
the next one.
But sometimes it's
Yeah.
hard, dude, because I have those friends where if I call them, bro, they are going to go on a full on rant and they're going to tell me 95 stories that have happened in the past like 3 days at work. And it's like, dude, I love you and the stories are cool. Like they're funny, but dude, I got shit to do. Please, I don't want to hear any of it. And then if I try to say, yo, dude, all right, man, I got to go. Yeah, yeah, but dude, let me tell you one more thing. And
Oh my
then
god, that's me.
15 more minutes. And I'm just like, dude, I mean, this guy's my good friend. I'm not just going to hang up on his face. And then it
Right,
ends
right.
up being a 30-minute to an hour conversation. And I realize, oh my gosh, man, I got all this stuff to do. And I just had a phone call that didn't really mean too much. It was just kind of like one of those BS calls for fun.
Right,
So I can
right.
totally relate, man. It's really funny.
I
And
think I'm that guy.
yeah.
Yeah, I
does,
think I'm that guy. I love stories.
oh,
So it's
really?
like, yeah, that's all I do. That's me. I'm that guy. Damn. I never noticed it really.
Hey, it's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay. So dude,
Emergency. I need a ride to Taco Bell.
hey,
Jesse Fox official. Hey, is
Jesse,
that really the real Jesse Fox
that's the real
official
Jesse
channel?
Fox. Yes.
Oh my god.
Wait, do you know
Yes,
Jesse Fox?
absolutely. I mean, I do now.
Oh,
It's
bro,
official.
you got to check out Jesse Fox's stream. He does a stream every morning called The Morning Glow. Dude, it is like the coolest, vibiest stream I've ever seen. Definitely follow him and check it out. He actually wrote a song today called Jason the Milkman Masoud. A little story behind that. Deathbringer. Do you know Deathbringer? He's also another
I do know
streamer.
Deathbringer. Yep, yep, yep.
So sometimes I'm on his feedback stream, and I'm like one of the panelists. And one time we were listening to a song, and after the song was done playing, it was my turn to talk about the song. And I said something along the lines of, "Oh, the song was so good that I have milk coming out of my titties." And then
Oh my
Jesse
god.
Fox was in there, and then he called me the Milkman, and then this whole like Jason the Milkman Masood thing started. So we wrote a song today that was like super epic, and I'm really excited for it.
Nice.
But yeah,
Very
that
nice.
was kind of sidetracked. But a question that I have for you is,
Yeah.
how did you get into streaming, man? How long have you been streaming, and how'd you get into it?
I've been streaming since June. 1996. So I've been streaming for quite a while. Almost 20, what is it, 20, 25 years almost.
Oh
No,
wow.
really, I started in June.
Uh-huh.
Um, how did I get into streaming? I think I gotta owe credit to Superbad, who's like a guy I do music with, a good friend of mine, like a really good friend of mine. We
Mhm.
play games like pretty much every night. He's one of the recurring people on the stream. He's got he does music with me, and he I don't know what it is. I never really watched streams as much. I didn't get it. I would
Right.
watch clips of streamers, and then like when I started understanding the interactive like aspect of it, I was like, oh, this is like totally something I could do. He's like, yeah, you should try it. And it's like I don't dip my toes in a lot of times. I jump off the diving board and let's do this.
Right.
So like I like researched the hell out of it in like the end of May. Oh, I just gotta. Oh, it shows up on
Oh
here.
yes.
Thanks for the follow. So I basically I was like, let me try this, and I just started it, and it was a huge IT nightmare.
Oh
Like
yes.
trying to figure this
Agreed.
stuff out. You know it. I know, and I've seen you like have like weird things happen for no reason. It's not your fault, and but you have it like set pretty good with your Logic Studio coming into the stream. That's great.
Thank you.
But
Thank
it
you.
was like, I mean, it's a nightmare. You have it so nice. I like the way you do it. But yeah, it was crazy. I see Osak in the chat saying that's why we need to have a static cutout button for the phone. I would never let that invention happen because that would be used against me every time. Like, what? What? Bye.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yo,
But connection. But and they just hang up.
you're also streaming on a Mac, right? You're streaming on a laptop, right?
No, I'm streaming on a PC. So this is what I did. I went out and I bought some like refurbished old PC. It cost like $200, which is still a lot to put in to invest. You don't even know if this is going to take off.
Yes.
I designed all this crap. I like did all this stuff, and I just started. I bought a capture card, blah blah, and just started. Had all kinds of issues. Bought a better capture card. All the issues went away. Elgato, this is like a thank you. They are not sponsoring me, but hey, it is what it is. Let me turn these sounds off.
Another follow. Oh, we can't hear the
Yeah,
sound,
thank
so
you
it's
for the
okay.
follow. Oh, you can't hear the sounds?
We can't hear the sound, but we can see the notification, which is super
Oh,
awesome.
interesting.
So yeah, that's cool. We
So
can't
let
hear
me
the
turn it
sound.
off for me.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Monitor. Okay, there.
By the way,
So, yeah.
everybody in here, please, please, please give this man a follow. His streams are awesome.
Thank you.
Bro, this guy pulls off some crazy, crazy like tomahawk kills in Call of Duty, man. Like, bro, I've seen those clips on TikTok, and you definitely got to show some later. They are epic.
We can. So the YouTube channel is probably better because it's like, I don't know, just better quality, I think, whatever. But anyways, so yeah, I just got a PC, tried to learn how to do this, did it, just kind of like testing the waters. And then I guess people liked it. I don't know. The demand was so high that like people, wrote me letters, and they sent me gifts and all this stuff. So I got a better PC, and now I have like a better stream going. Like I have like animations and stuff that I had in my mind, but the physical or the technical limitations I had with my $200 PC were just not going to let it happen.
Right.
So now
right,
we've got
right.
like a full-fledged thing going, and it's fun. And we're developing the show. And right now I'm playing a lot of games because that's people want to see something when they see you, but it's not a gaming channel. It's a personality channel.
Right.
It's like kind of like you. Yours isn't just a music channel. You give music feedback. You do the podcast. Do all this stuff. It's about you.
Right,
People come to
right.
hang out with you. So that's the same idea.
Oh man, that's super cool, and I'm super glad
yeah.
that you got into streaming, man. I'm glad that me and you ended up getting to know each other because your streams are awesome, and you're
Likewise.
such an awesome dude, man. But
I appreciate
dude,
that, man.
the IT nightmare, bro, I can totally relate to that, man. It is so hard going from because I got into streaming, I think around the same time as you did, actually, because it was
Probably.
right when COVID first started happening, and I lost out on all of my gigs. I was playing 3 to 4 gigs a week, and then out of nowhere, COVID happened, and then everything was just done. And I was just like, dude, what the hell? And I remember my brother, before COVID happened, he would always tell me, dude, you should get on Twitch. You should get on Twitch. They have a music section. And before that, I knew Twitch as just a gaming thing. People go on there and they game and they broadcast themselves, And then when I went on Twitch and I found out that, some of the guitar players that I look up to are also on Twitch, started watching their streams. I was like, dude, I totally want to get into this. But I remember the transition phase where, getting the overlays working, getting the alerts working, getting OBS to work, getting Logic's audio to actually go through OBS to give the listener the true sound was, dude, that was all such a nightmare. And being on a Mac, makes everything 1,000,000 times worse because there's so many programs out there that just don't want to work on Mac. Or if I do get them to work, I have to go through like 10 extra steps to get it to work. And it was such a nightmare. But once you actually get it set up and, you know, you get some regular viewers coming in that you can chat to and talk to and stuff. Dude, it's such a rewarding feeling, isn't it? Like just having that interaction, and it's all happening live. That's the one thing that I really love about Twitch. It's all live, so if something goes wrong, you can't just clip it or cut it, you know, like in a video editor when you're making a post for YouTube. They see it all, and I love that aspect of it. Whether it's positive or negative, it's just beautiful. It makes it human, you know, a real human interaction that's done online.
My favorite thing about the streaming is that the interaction. It's like the more people chat with me and tell me like, hey, do this or like blah 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 or like whatever, the more I like it. I mean, so we talk about several things on my channel while I'm playing Call of Duty, mind you. Talk about The Bachelorette. We talk about like, you know, math. We did algebra homework the other day. Balmer's Peak used to be a teacher. He's also a great streamer as well. He's someone that streams with me almost every night. And he was in the chat and a guy came in and was like, hey, I need help with my algebra homework. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Like, you know, this is
that's
blah,
cool,
blah, blah, blah,
man.
And then like Bombers comes in and he's like, okay, like you need to think of it this way. I'm like, Bombers, you know algebra really well? He's like, I used to be a teacher. I was like, oh my God, this guy, like, you know what I mean? We just do whatever. Like The Bachelorette, I made on record exactly precise predictions about who she's gonna pick. Tasha, I don't know if anyone's here, you know, anyone here. It's over now. Now we're on to The Bachelor. I haven't watched it yet, but The Bachelorette was a heated game show. It's the most complicated game show in history. As far as I can tell, it's the hardest game show because you're trying to get second place. I mean, I've been preaching this all the time. It's a hard game show. You're trying to get second place. First place, she picks, right? The girl picks first place. What happens to that guy? Married, done. See you later. You don't get your own show. Second place is America's brokenhearted. Second place gets all of America's sympathies, and second place gets The Bachelor. That's how they picked The Bachelor. It's second place from the previous season. They didn't do it this year because of COVID, but that's how they do it. So the second place gets the next show. So so you're vying for this girl for the whole time, right? You can get second place and get like 16,000 girls to come and apply to be with you and you get your own show. I mean, come on, that's second place is really first place. Now, how do you get second place? That's like super hard. You got to make her like you so much that you get into the top 2. And then at the end, for some reason, like you flip it. And it's so hard to do. I would love to play that game. I would love to play that game.
Dude, I've always heard about the show, but I've never actually watched it or seen it. So in my head, I thought it was something completely different. But the way you're describing it makes it seem so interesting that I want to check it out, man. Like that.
It's a bunch of garbage too. No. It's a bunch of garbage. I'm telling you my point of view, what I'm watching it for. Here's what it is. If you want to know what it really is, have you ever seen Gladiator?
The movie?
Yeah, the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, you know like how like the Romans would send gladiators into the arena and they just slaughter each other and everyone's enjoying it and it's kind of gross.
Right.
The Bachelor or The Bachelorette is basically the same thing, but for women. Like they enjoy watching these people go into this arena and just slaughter each other. And it's like disgusting. And they say dumb things and people love that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
People like it. It's Gladiator. So, okay, that's one aspect of it. But if you get into the play-by-play when you're watching Gladiator or watching like Gladiator fights, you start to realize, hey, this guy's pretty good. Like he's probably gonna win. Right. You know? And it's so like there's another aspect to it, and that's the part that I enjoy.
So it depends on the perspective that you're going in, you're watching it in, because I guess you can look at it in different ways. But I would say probably most people do watch it just for like the entertaining fact. You know, people love drama. I used to actually, back when I was younger in high school, man, I used to love reality TV, dude. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Oh my God.
I used to love like Jersey Shore. There was a show called, bro, I can't believe I used to watch it. There was a show called A Shot of Tequila or something. It was about tequila. Really? And like this, bro, I don't know why the hell I wasn't even like really doing music seriously back then. I was just like, But I can see why people are into it because it's full of
Right.
drama. People love drama. It's entertaining. And it doesn't affect their lives. They're watching other lives get ruined. So, I mean, it's like, it's kind of disgusting, but it kind of makes sense why people like it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right. This is what it is. Reality TV, I hate reality TV. It's like, it's so predictable. If you ever like, I mean, now you and I are in like video production as well, right? So
Right.
we know how edits work. You know, if I like, oh man, I need a soundboard for this. Maybe I should design it. But like, if we did like something where like we cut like, you know, a clip real quick and then we like played like a dark note, it sounds like I said something bad about you when I never
Yeah.
did. You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
like,
yes,
oh, I
yes.
hate that. I hate that guy. It's like, you know, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and then it shows a part of you from like earlier in the stream where you're like, you know,
Yeah,
and it looks like you're
exactly.
reacting to me
Yeah.
saying I hate that guy, and like, wow, oh my god, there's so much drama. And then you watch it. Oh, the best guy, a great, maybe not the best, but uh, I really like this guy named Adam Conover. He does Adam Ruins Everything. It's like a show, and he
Uh-huh.
does Adam Ruins Reality TV. It's a great little clip. Just watch it on YouTube. Adam Ruins Reality TV, and he shows like how easy it is to do that. It's so funny. It's really funny to me. But
You know,
yeah, that's why
this
I hate it.
yeah, what you're talking about, you know, it's taking things out of context. And what's messed up and what sucks is that social media does this a lot in the news. When you're talking about really touchy subjects, bro, I'm not going to go into details at all, but what I'm going to say is
Sure.
it's so easy to make a video look positive or negative by where you start the video, where you end the video, and how you're you know, how you post the video. And it's actually so disgusting that people distort the truth just for views, just for likes, just for exposure. Especially when it comes to really serious topics that are actually affecting people. Man, that's like the dark side of it, but it's so disgusting and it's so easy to do nowadays. You know, I feel like 15, 20 years ago, if you were trying to do video editing, bro, you had to go through the gauntlet. You had to like learn how to like, it was such a tedious process versus now.
Right.
You got programs that make everything so easy. I mean, yeah, it requires some time. And if you want to get really good at it, of course, it's going to take years. But to make a quick little video, it's not that hard to learn anymore. We have a lot of resources, you know, a lot of things that make it easy. And there's a lot of these social media news platforms
Yes.
that are literally just distorting a lot of people's views, and they have like millions of followers. So there's a million people watching this stuff and taking it as the truth, and they're not going to do any research. They're just going to say, "Oh, this is what's happening." And dude, it's so toxic, man. It's so toxic.
Yeah, and you know, okay, I have a degree in journalism. I can say this. A lot of the news that we see as news, including cable news, is actually opinion piece.
Right.
And it's not news, it's opinion. But they don't
Yeah.
say that anymore. It used to be that like they would be very careful to tell you, "Hey, this is just opinion and these are facts." And then even nowadays, sometimes they report facts and they don't report the other facts. So it's like, "Oh, I said
Exactly.
everything I said was factually true." Yeah, but you didn't say the truth. You know,
Right.
I went to Walmart and then I went to the grocery store. If someone says, "Where'd you go?" and I say the grocery store, I told a true fact, but I didn't tell the truth. The truth is I went to Walmart, then I went to the grocery store. So it's like, I hate that stuff. I hate that stuff. And you know what it is? You tied it into reality TV and you hit it on the nose. I've been saying this for the last, like, I don't know, 5, 6 years maybe. We are now part of reality TV. That is the most like you guys don't realize like the news has done it in a way that they are now turning into reality TV and we're the characters. It's like that's why we are glued to the news. Their ratings are through the roof, okay? And it's like, I'm not some conspiracy theorist. I'm saying like they have twisted it so they've been pushing this line for a while, and it's gotten to the point where like these people love this stuff. They're
Right.
figuring this out. Like, okay,
Exactly.
so let's just paint the world as a reality TV set and you're the character. And that's it. I hate it. I hate it so much. Doesn't mean
Bro,
everybody's like that, but
yeah.
that's what it's turning into.
I
I'm
know,
telling you.
man. And it's like, dude, I try not to go on social media too much anymore. The only time I'm on social
Yeah.
media is when I'm trying to find like music or try to find like new music or new artists, people who are creating
Right.
like actual real content that requires actual skill. But dude, it's so easy. Like I even catch myself sometimes watching these like world star hip hop videos of like some stupid crap happening. And dude,
Right.
it's like I start watching it and then I actually get into it because it's entertaining, even though it's
Yeah.
stupid. They caught my attention, and then I stop and I'm like, oh, I need to get the hell out of here. But then there's a lot of other people, dude, who probably spend like a lot of their time on these websites just filling their brain with a bunch of BS. And like you're saying, dude, that was a beautiful, beautiful way to describe it. Reality TV is happening now in real life, and yeah, we are the characters, and people are thriving off of it. Both the people who are posting the content and the people who are inside of the content, who literally probably in their heads are like, wow, I'm famous now. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Totally.
I'm gonna keep doing this, even though this is toxic behavior. Dude, this
Right.
got me exposure. I want people to know who I am. I want to be famous, and I don't care if I hurt somebody else or I lie about something. I don't care, because it's all about me, and then the ego comes in. And, you know, that was a great way to describe it. I've never heard that metaphor before, but it's not even a metaphor. It's true. Reality TV is happening right in front of us in the real world, you know, and we are the characters. Right. It's really crazy, because think about the next like 20 years. How bad are things going to get when it comes to this, you know? Like it's crazy to think about. It's honestly crazy to think about, man. The world has changed a lot.
Right. And it's like, I mean, all these people want to be like, you know, more conscious, and you know, and they're like becoming less, because they're all, everyone's in an echo chamber, everyone's in a silo, right? And that's like the problem with Facebook and all this social media that you're trying to avoid. And so am I. It's like, it's become like, they know. So this is how it evolved, right? They know what you like, so they want to feed you more stuff that you like. Like, let's start it with YouTube, right? YouTube's like, hey, this guy does tomahawks. You like tomahawk videos, so we're going to feed you more Call of Duty tomahawk videos. Okay, that's fine. But let's say someone watches something that's political, even if it's wrong. Let's say like it's totally polarized and it's like it's not giving the full picture. Like, oh, this guy likes these weird, like these videos. So they push more and more and more. So now this viewer is getting a bunch of stuff that there's no like other side. They don't hear any of the other side. Now they've seen like 30 videos on YouTube of like one side. Now they're completely convinced.
Yeah.
And then what? Are they going to see one video of the other side? No. And then the person on the other side sees the same thing. And then they come and they clash. These people clash. You see the division in the country now. And it's so difficult. And then, like, you know, these social media responses is like, okay, cancel culture. Okay, you're done. Twitch like removed the PogChamp thing. Like, what the hell? That's not the answer. What are you guys talking about?
Exactly.
It's like so strange to me. Like, are you guys that out of touch? Like, they don't know what to do. They don't know. They got in this mess and they're not equipped. They are not socially intelligent. I'm telling you, like, they may be socially intelligent in many ways, but they are not understanding the infrastructure of what's going on. And they are just like pulling. People are going to flip. People are already flipping out. Like, everybody's flipping out.
Yeah.
And they don't understand why. It's like, are you guys like not get, I don't want to get too political, but like everyone is so charged because like these people that are in control, like whoever's making the decision, like on every side is like making the wrong decision. Every single side's like, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that, to some extent, right? And not everybody's bad. And I definitely believe people are trying their best, but like, come on, dude. Like, okay, is Twitch? This is what I said last night on Osak's. Like, I was playing with Osak and the gang, and they're good. They're a good bunch. They're a smart group. Like, I was like, what are we gonna do next? Are we gonna like remove the name Twitch because of the Parkinson's like community? It's offensive. They removed blind playthrough. That's offensive, and no blind person ever said that. You can hear Devin Nash. You know they removed that, right?
I know. Dude.
So stupid.
So
there was a tag.
Bro.
There was a tag that says blind playthrough. Like, obviously, it means you're going through blind or cold, right? Like, you don't know anything about it.
You've never,
like,
you've never played it. Exactly.
Yeah, don't give me spoilers. Don't tell me. I don't know anything about it, and that's entertaining to watch. Twitch comes out like a couple months ago, and they're like, we removed blind playthrough after like whatever, and like blind people were like, we never said any of this stuff. First of all, like, well, I'll be careful what I say because I watch Devin Nash a lot. I don't know if you know Devin Nash.
I don't know.
He's a streamer, but he's more than that. He's like a business guy that's like in the content creation industry, and he's really successful. And he's a brilliant guy, and I really agree with a lot of what he said. He said some stuff that he decided not to tweet. So I'm gonna be smart and stand on the shoulder of a giant and not say the same thing because I was thinking exactly the same thing. But the concept is like, no one complained about it. Now you made it an issue.
Yeah.
when like what does that you know what I mean? Like
That's
why are you
fuel
doing
to the
that?
fire, bro. Because
Yeah,
people were never thinking like that, but now that you removed
now
it
that
and you said this is
exactly
why we removed it, people are
right.
gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this was really messed up. I can't believe people titled blind playthrough. They're talking about the blind community and making fun."
Right.
Bro, no, that was never an issue, but now you've
No
made
one
it
said
an
that. Yeah.
issue. But
Right.
in your head, they're trying to come across as, "Oh, we're fixing the issue here," but you've created
Right.
something that didn't even exist.
Right, exactly, exactly. Right. So then the same thing with the PogChamp thing. So like my take on it is okay, even if this guy, I don't know what he said, but I'm gonna assume, in law sometimes like when there's a motion, certain motions like a motion to dismiss, the judge has to assume that the other side, all their facts are true before like taking into consideration of dismissing a whole case, right?
Mhm.
So things like that. So I'm gonna assume everything, all their reasons are true. That this guy like said all these things and it's bad. I don't know what he said. But I didn't even know that this guy whose face is an emoji or an emo on this thing is the same person. I didn't even know.
Right.
Like I don't I just see it as like, okay, there's like a face that's like a meme.
Yeah.
It's like a meme. It's just a
It,
meme.
that's exactly what it is,
You know what
bro.
I mean? And they're like making it a huge deal and they removed it because of like the guy whose face was on the meme 20 years ago now said something weird. I mean, this cancel culture is like strange. So that's what I'm saying. Is Twitch going to change their name? Are they prepared to change the name of the platform from Twitch to avoid offending Parkinson's patients because they have to they're twitching all the time. So I would like to know. I mean, that's like where are we gonna? How far are we gonna go?
Yeah, yeah,
Amazon,
yeah.
is Amazon gonna change their name because the Amazonians are really offended? This guy misappropriated their culture and took like something that you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thing to say.
I
So
know.
why are we going this far?
I know. Dude,
They have
it's
no limit.
yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. I think the problem is, man, people are just too damn sensitive and people are looking to stir up problems that don't even exist. And
Yeah.
it just, dude, it all comes down to reality TV, bro. People love drama, man. People love
Exactly.
drama.
Exactly.
People love clickbait. People love it when somebody gets pissed off or when people love it when somebody accidentally slips up and says something that maybe they shouldn't have said, but maybe it was an accident. Dude, there's so many people getting canceled because of that. I mean, think
Right.
about 99% of the things they do when they stand for. Probably extremely positive, but maybe they have one
Right.
tiny slip up and their whole career is over. Are you kidding me, bro?
People
Why?
love it. People love it. They
Why?
want power.
Yeah, man. And
They want the
offending
power.
chihuahuas.
Yeah, right. They want the power. That's what they want. They want the like uh, I just no one is actually if people really wanted to stop offending everybody, it comes down, I'm going to be a hippie for a minute. It comes down to the individual level. Just have genuine like love, not romantic love, but like care about other people. Just
Right.
genuinely like this other person's a human being, give them dignity. That's it. Instead, people are like, "Oh," like they're like attacking the person and like ripping their dignity apart because that
Right.
person made a mistake. It's like the opposite. So it's like it's treating hate with hate, fire with fire. It's
Ex-
wrong.
and you're not going to solve anything. The
Wrong.
only thing you're going to do is create more and more and
War.
more problems, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
especially like right now, man, with like COVID and things being shut down, a lot of people are trapped inside of their house. People are
Right.
already pent up and like just extremely aggressive. They can't really express themselves the way they used to. People can't
Right.
go out and go dancing on the weekend like they used to, or even
Right.
eating out is a real problem now. It's like, dude,
Right.
people are stuck in their house. A lot of them are on social media. They're seeing a lot of hate being spread, a lot of
Right.
things, a lot of news being distorted. That's pissing them off even more. And dude, people are gonna fucking blow up. What do you expect? It's like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I just really hope that things get better. Because, like you said, dude, if we start treating people as individuals, as humans, people who have
Right.
feelings, then the approach would change and things would change. But if you're treating these subjects and these these events as I'm right and you're wrong, and you got these extremists who think they're right 100%, when in reality,
Right.
it's really hard to be right 100% of the time because, bro, we're humans and none of us are perfect. No matter how smart we are, we're probably going to have an opinion that is, we only have that opinion because we're emotionally attached to it. It's really hard to be logical 100% of the time. And these people think they're 100% right. So when these, like you said, when these two people meet, the only thing they want to do, they don't want to have a debate. They don't want to talk about, oh, this is why I believe this.
Right.
This is why you believe
Right.
that. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe I don't agree with you, but it's okay. Let's shake hands. Instead, it's, I'm right, you're wrong. The other person says the same thing. And what happens?
Yeah.
Somebody ends up getting stabbed or shot. And then everybody starts fucking going crazy. And it's the
Right.
battle instead of trying to like understand why you think this way. It's,
Right.
dude.
I'm 100%. Everything you just said is exactly how I've been feeling. Everyone thinks that they have the moral high ground. Nobody has the moral high ground.
Yep.
We work on that together. And Osak's saying, how can we advance as a society without offending someone? Discussion of opposing opinions is necessary for compromise. I agree 100%. That's the point. Like, I have to be able to believe that I could be wrong. Jason comes in and tells me blah blah blah. I'm not gonna say, I have the moral high ground. Whatever he says has to be wrong. No,
Right.
that's a so bad assumption. I should say, hey, Jason's another human being. He has a brain. He's thinking of something. I didn't think of it this way. Let's work through it. You know what, Jason? I disagree because of this exact point. What do you think about this point? Jason says I agree or disagree. Then it's like a logic tree. You know, we're right here. Jason's like, okay, yes or no. Jason says yes, so I say yes, so we both went this way. Yes or no? Okay, Jason says yes, I say no, so it's like, okay, so this is where we're divided on this one issue. Okay, I believe, and there's a lot of issues that we can be divided on, and that's okay
Exactly.
because we're human. Like
Yep.
that's the fundamental issue is that people are going to be so disappointed. There's no 100% right answer on every issue. That's why these issues are controversial. I'm looking at it in like law. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like, you could go this way, you could go that way. I don't know. As long as we all agree, hey, these are the rules. We went this way. That's it. Or we went that way. That's it. Like, and then the rest is like, okay, your personal choice.
Right.
Your personal morals are not to be imposed on someone else's personal morals. We have an agreement of the fabric of society, a set of rules that the group agrees on, that we agree on, and we should stick to it. But if I personally don't like, I don't like when, people wear denim jackets, let's say, right? It's wrong.
How
it's
could you
morally
say
wrong,
that?
blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why the hell is that? That doesn't matter. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm not right. That's my personal opinion. I'm never gonna. I actually love denim jackets. I have one, but like, you know what I'm saying? If I don't like them, don't wear them. That's it.
Exactly.
Like, your right to not be offended does not supersede my right to speak. Yep. True, because exactly. Like, and what is this? I don't want to be offended stuff. If you don't want to be offended, don't listen, and just live in a box. Like seriously,
Yes.
but don't have an opinion. If you don't want to hear other opinions, don't say your opinion. And like, it's not listen just so that they can say it. It's like, no, understand, absorb it, and digest it, and think maybe I could change my opinion. Nobody wants to change their opinion. Everyone's afraid of being wrong, and that's how you know they're all like in the wrong. I don't know. This boils my blood. Like it's like not fair. Like we're on the opposite of democracy. We're turning into like which tyranny wants to supersede the other. Like that's what it comes down to.
Right. And
it's not a discussion.
People just have gigantic egos. Like if they could just let go of that and just realize none of us are perfect, and just listen. Let's listen to each other and let's talk. Let's talk instead of fight. Let's talk instead of argue. Let's just have a conversation. Nobody's perfect. Like you said, let's just find out what we disagree on, and if we disagree on it, it's okay. As long as you're not going out and you're not bashing people, you're not hurting people, you can believe whatever you want, okay? Do whatever you want to yourself, but do not try to affect anybody else negatively. Force somebody to think the way that you do just because you think it's right. Leave everybody else alone. If you want to be a guy who hates a lot of things, go ahead and hate a lot of things, but do not go out and do anything negative to anybody else. Do whatever the hell you want. But stop trying to make people be the way that you want them to be because you think you're right. Because if you have that mentality, you're probably wrong.
Exactly. I mean, that's like, I mean, there are people like that, right? Like there's always like the grumpy, like old man or grumpy old woman.
Yeah.
That's fine. They never, back in the day, they wouldn't go around like, attacking people. They're just okay, whatever. They
unless you stepped into their property, then they might come out with like a bat.
That's
something.
you coming into their place.
Yes,
so it's like,
exactly.
we steer clear, they steer clear. But here's like, you said something like about like people being cooped up on social media, and it made me think, have you ever gotten into an argument over text message with someone you know?
Yes, I have.
Okay. 10 times worse than if you saw that person in person. If you ended the text message conversation and you went and saw the person and said, listen, this is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. Like literally seeing the person can melt away some of the anger
Oh,
and it
yes.
just gets to the issues and you want to resolve. Like this human to human contact resolves a lot of issues. And like even like even in my work, if there's like some sort of issue I need to resolve, I'm like, people are emailing back and forth, letters. I'm like, you know what? Let me just call this guy. Hey man, can we meet? Like with COVID, it's a lot harder, but can we just meet? I just need, we need to discuss like this issue, and that's it. Like there's an issue, and let's discuss it. Sometimes I was talking to Bombers last night, and he tried that, and like the lawyer for the other side like charged him, like it was like ridiculous. But like
Oh,
in
no
general,
way.
it should work. Yeah, it's so stupid, but like it should work. It's like let's just human to human. But what's going on is everyone's doing it on social media, so there's no human to human contact except when they're ready to fight. Then they go out and fight. Like so, it's
Yes.
like if we just met more of each other and like just mingled more and understood, hey, this guy's a cool guy. Oh, he disagrees with me. I wonder why. Why do you disagree? And you hear each other out. It's like, huh. Both sides should absorb from each other, but that doesn't happen.
Yeah, man. No, I agree 100%. I really hope that people will start opening up more and realizing that the problem is us. I mean, all of us collectively. That is the problem, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are literally the problem because of the way we're approaching things right now and the way we feel, and people are just getting too sensitive. People are creating problems out of nothing. I just don't understand it, man. Like, just everybody just chill out. Let's all have a good
Yeah.
time,
Chill out.
because in the
Yeah.
end, like, life is temporary, right? None of us are going to be here forever. And
Right.
why don't we just enjoy the journey while we can, and try to spread positivity instead of being so negative all the time. Because in the end, dude, we're all born the same way, right? We don't get to pick how we're born, who we're born, what kind of family we're born
Right.
into, where we live. None of that. It just happens. We're all born the same way. So why don't we just understand that we're all the same? We all might be different, the way we look, the way we speak, the way we think. But in the end, fundamentally, when you think about it, we are all human, and we all have feelings, and we all have things that we think about and things that make us us, I guess you can say. But in the end, we
Yeah.
are kind of the same. So let's just like be nice to each other. And it's okay to not like somebody because maybe you guys
Or
just don't
whatever.
really
Yeah.
vibe. Whatever. Just
Sure. Yeah.
just stay
Yeah.
away from that person. Let them do their thing, but
Right.
don't spread hate. Just don't spread
Right.
hate.
Right. Right. You don't have to love, you don't have to like everybody, but I think you should respect everybody, and you don't have to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Osaka says, I think it's okay to try and convince people to your side of an issue. But today seems like the narrative is sides looking to force their issues. I think, yeah, I think that's a result of people saying, I'm going to convince you, but there's no way you can convince me. It's like if you're going
Exactly.
into a discussion, you have to accept that you may be the one that needs to change your position, or you can change your position. Hey, you know what? I don't have to change, but you know what? I kind of like your point of view. I am now adopting that. I
Right,
had a
right.
lot of ideas in going into law school, of things I thought. Coming out of law school, I thought completely other things. I was like, whoa. I thought like this is where I developed, I think, the most, the deepest version of this concept, which is like, dude, some of these answers are never going to be right. There's no right. There's
Yeah.
really no right answer.
Right,
It's
right,
it's
right.
just it's a path that society decides to take. We're gonna go this way, then hey, we're going this way. We all agree. Like don't like or we're gonna go that way, then we go that way, and that's it. Like as a team, you know. And it's like okay, if you don't like that, it doesn't affect you. Then like there's rarely laws. Well, let me take this back. There's not a lot of stuff that's like forced on us, like in this country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't want them to be able to do this. It's like, well, why? Like, what? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you have nothing to do with it. Well, because of blah blah. Blah. Okay, then you're imposing personal morals, potentially. It's
Yeah.
like think of it. Like, you can discuss those. If someone says, "Why do you believe this?" I believe it because of blah 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 blah, and maybe they will change their mind and believe the same as you, or they'll change, whatever. Who knows? But like to impose on someone else is a problem, and that's why I agree with Osaka on that too. Like, you can't just force someone. You have to be willing to also change your mind when
Yeah,
you open a
yeah.
discussion.
Exactly,
Oh
exactly.
man,
No,
it's like
I
a
agree
crazy.
100%, man. So a little bit off topic, but you're also a
Yeah,
musician, right?
somewhat. I try.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
well,
I
tell
love music.
tell me a little bit about that, man. How's like your musical journey been, and how'd you get into music? You kind of
So
talked about it
yep,
earlier, but
right.
what instrument did you end up choosing, and how serious did you take it? Did you grow up being in bands and stuff like that? Ooh, look at that!
That's my
All
first
right,
instrument, the bass guitar. Oh, I do want to say one thing because I remember the thrice sticker on there. I don't, is my image mirrored? Like, can you read that,
I
or is
can't
it like
read it.
mirrored?
Oh, I can actually. Yeah, I can read it.
Is
Right.
it like backwards, or is it flipped,
No,
or
it's
is it like
fine. It's
regular?
fine. I can read it.
Oh, for
Yeah.
me it's flipped. Okay, so thrice is, I have to say, like, probably my favorite band because
Oh
they're
yeah,
just the
bro.
most influential band in my life. I grew up watching them like play free in a parking lot. Okay, like in like
Oh no way.
2000. Yeah, at a surf shop called Alternative Surf in Dana Point. Like, I remember exactly, very clearly, and my friends were with me, and it was awesome. So like, uh, this is gonna be the segue. There's a line. What you said, like, we don't get to pick where we were born or how we were born or any of that stuff. And like, all I kept thinking about was the song "Beggars" by Thrice, which is like one of my favorite songs. They talk about this. Like, the punchline is, we're beggars all. Like, who chose where to live? Who chose where to be born? Did you even choose your name? You didn't even choose your name. Like,
Yep.
who are you? You're nobody. Like, we're all nobodies. We're
Yeah.
beggars all. And it's like, that's the concept that you were hitting on. And I always think back to that song. I love that song. Um, okay, so first, musical journey. I guess I never really liked music as a kid. The only music I knew was like Arabic music my parents would play, right? And
Oh,
like,
nice.
like belly dancing music,
Oh
and
yeah.
then oldies. That was it. Like a bunch of, like, a ton of oldies. I was like, okay, whatever. I hated them because that's all they would play.
Right.
And then like, my parents with the American dream coming, coming over to the States, like they loved American music. They grew up in the '60s. They loved, like, all that stuff. I just, yeah, I didn't care for it. The first, I think, the first thing I ever felt was, first piece of music I ever felt was mine, was "Bad" by Michael Jackson. Like, I
Oh
got the tape,
snap. Really?
okay, and I was like doing my chores, like listening to "Bad," and it was like my rebellion. I was like, wow, this like touched like something. Well, I don't want to.
No.
No pun intended. Not
Touched
a pun
what?
intended whatsoever.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
It touched
yeah.
something in me when I was a little boy. But like, okay, so like
Right.
basically, I was like, dude, this is like, this resonates, and I was
Right.
like, this is cool. But I didn't. That was it. I just loved that. I loved that tape. I lost it. I don't know where it is now. It might be somewhere. But like, I just remember that. That's like all I knew. I remember the cover. I loved it. Okay, now years later in sixth grade, my cousin, like I said, was like, "Hey, we need to shoot a music video, but we need to make music for it." And actually, he said, "Let's do like a feature film, like a short feature, like let's do a film or something." Like, he's like, "But let's start with a music video so we learn music video editing." And then so like that, we literally were like, "Okay, everybody just assigned a thing." So I started with the bass guitar, and like the way it happened was, at the time we were listening to a lot of ska. So the first band after Michael Jackson, so the first musical artist I ever and like still love, that I ever loved, is the Aquabats.
Oh,
I don't know if
nice.
you know the
Okay. Yeah,
Aquabats.
yeah, yeah.
I love the Aquabats, like, especially their older stuff. I just love the Aquabats, like, so good with Travis Barker, and his drums were like nuts, and like, it was just so much going on, and my brain was quickly able to just go, okay, this is playing this instrument's playing this. Like, I just broke it down into like basically what I didn't know at the time, but what a DAW would show, all the tracks.
Right.
I just could understand it that way. I understood it that way, not realizing that that's what it was. So I was like, okay, I can hear the bass very clearly. I can hear every instrument very clearly and break it down. And I loved it. And so when my cousin's like, okay, we're going to start playing, I started like learning that. At the time, we moved into like punk and pop punk. It's like Blink 182 slash like, Social Distortion, like all just a blend, like just a flood of music coming into my mind, right? So I was trying to play, weird bass lines. And basically, I was playing it as a guitar, not realizing,
Oh,
like, I was
really?
trying to
Were,
do
were you
like, yeah,
playing
I was
like
trying to do
power
something
chords or
unique.
what?
No, not, I did play some chords, but like, first of all, I played with a pick. I taught myself everything.
Mhm.
Um, Played with a pick. Uh, like, didn't, I mean, just didn't know what the role of a bass was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I would I
Yeah.
would come up with cool riffs on the bass, but like, you need to kind of hold like a steady, like, so the guitar can do its thing. But I didn't understand that. It was like very immature, and so everyone's doing their own thing.
Yeah.
That was like our music, um, basically, and it was fun. And like, we recorded like demos. Like the guy in school, like one of the guys at school had like an 8 track, and like, or a 4 track or whatever, and he'd bring it over, and we just like record demos, like screaming into like the microphone that's placed above the drums, like, just so we
Uh-huh.
can get like the lyrics caught. It was just like ridiculous. It was so much fun though. Um, and we wrote like really weird, goofy music. And then like, probably, so that was sixth and seventh grade. Um, I think I had to convince my parents to get me like or let me buy a bass, even though like I had like they were like, why would you spend your money on this? You're gonna toss it on the side.
Right.
And I was like, dude, this is like a whole. My parents put me in soccer. If they put that money, like I mean, I'm very grateful. But if they had put that money in like music when I was younger, I would have probably progressed a lot faster because I would
Yeah.
have like understood, But it was never in our minds. So like, yeah. So like, I mean, I don't even play soccer anymore. I really regret it. Anyways, yeah. So then like we like made a band, whatever. By high school, like we stopped playing, and then I was like, I kind of want to play on my own, so I got an acoustic guitar, and then I didn't understand how to play chords at all, and it just kind of fizzled out. Like at the end of college, oh, okay. So during college, no, hold on. At the very end of college, this is a big loop here. At the very end of college, someone I know was like making a parody hip hop song. Okay. And he's like, "Hey, you kind of know stuff about music. Can you help me with the recording?" And I was like, "Okay." At the time, I was like listening to hip hop and like just like infusing that into my mind, like
Yeah.
just going through all the history of hip hop. And so I was like, okay, like studying it basically. I was like, okay, what you need to do is this, and you need to overdub like the vocals here. Like I was trying to figure out how to do that. I was like, why does this sound doubled? And like I later like realized like, oh, if we like record again, it will sound like doubled. I didn't know these concepts. I
Yeah.
just was
Yeah.
doing it. And then like later would research like how do we get it better. And so I did that, and he's like, "Hey," like, and I'm like, "Hey, your like lines are kind of off. Why don't we do like you should like say it this way and like whatever." He's like, "Why don't you do a verse on this track?" I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
sure, whatever." So I did
snap.
a verse. Yeah, I did one verse. He's like, "Why don't you do a second verse?" Like the bridge, and I was like, "Okay, I'll do the bridge too." So like basically like I started like doing hip hop, and people are like, "Well, that's really funny," and like you have a really good flow. I was like, okay, we're doing this. So like I just went down the road of hip hop, like just dove headfirst into that.
Wow. So was
Um,
this right after law school?
no, this was like right before.
Oh, right before. Okay. Okay.
So I started doing hip hop and like just blah 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 blah, right? And like I connected with another Egyptian guy in Australia who's like a good friend of mine. I love this guy. I really love this guy. His name is Luke, and Luke Gergis, and he at the time was also starting hip hop. I was like, "Hey, bro! Like, we're both from the same breed, and we're both doing the same thing." And we were like on MySpace posting our music. I was like, let's talk. And I did not know that this guy was like this like business mogul in the making, right? He's
Right.
like, "Okay, let's do this and this." So he over there, um, graduated all the way to just quick side note, went all the way up to like becoming like a manager and like everything you could think of for like some of the top hip hop acts in Australia, and
Oh,
then moved
wow.
on to like moved on to other stuff. Now he's like just a manager for content creation. He owns like several media businesses that he's running. He's got a podcast. He's great. He's a great guy, and just a brilliant guy. Anyways, so we go on to make more music, and he hooks me up with someone who could be a sound engineer for my hip hop stuff. So now it's like it's on, right? Because I want to release this EP. So I recorded an EP, released it, and then I was in law school. And like at the time, I didn't tell anyone in school. And some guy, like a friend of mine from school, comes up and he spits like one of my lines to me. He's like, but like doesn't rap it. He just says it like at lunch.
Dang. Yeah.
And I'm like, how'd you find that? He's like he somehow traced it back. Like he found some link somewhere. Someone posted something on my Facebook, and he like dug into it. It's like, what is that? You know? And then like so I was kind of like shy about it, which is weird. And like the whole legal thing, I was trying to get a job, and I was like, oh, okay. So I removed everything from the internet about that. Like I had a
Wow.
website, all this
No
stuff.
way.
I wasn't huge, but I was just like had like I was building a presence, removed it all. MySpace, Facebook Music, all that stuff, gone, 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 and like just kept it quiet. And then went on to try to get a job. Came back home, picked up the acoustic guitar, said I need to learn chords. Like I really should learn these chords. Started just learning chords. This is now like what, like almost 10 years ago.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, I want to learn chords because like I want to transition from hip hop. Hip hop is limited. I love hip hop, but it's like hip hop is like very limited and fleeting. It's very cultural and social. Uh it's based on the times. Like there are some golden era hip hop songs that are timeless, but a lot of the hip hop now is like commentary on current events. Like the fun punchlines are funny jokes about current events. So 10 years from now, they're not as good.
Right.
So like you gotta make it so rock can stay forever. It's usually like more, you know what I mean?
More
It's more
stories,
timeless.
emotional stories and stuff like
Yeah.
that
It
versus
could
yeah,
be
yeah.
more timeless. Yeah,
Right.
and it's more layered and more complex. It's like I want to get back into like real instruments and doing all this stuff. So like started learning that. Um and then what, a couple years ago, super bad started making like songs, and he couldn't record it right, and he was like doing what he could. He would record it, he'd post his iPad up, okay? He'd record a video of him playing, then he'd put the iPad, record the other track, and then put the two videos together. I'm like, dude, let me show you how to use like GarageBand and all this. So he learned very quickly.
Uh-huh.
Super bad. So I've been playing for how many years? Like, if you're tracking it from when I started, Superbad's been playing for a lot less and just is way better at guitar than me. And I'm like, the hell, bro? It's like,
Yeah.
so that's when I was like, okay. And then when he had a bunch of music that was really good, but needed a little bit of vision and like and tracking and like just the big picture. So I was like,
Right.
am I getting into music production? Is this how it starts? Where
Oh,
I'm like,
snap. Yeah.
I like loved his songs. I was like, I have a vision for the song. Can I take it and piece it together differently? He's like, yeah. So I rearranged it. I like had him record more pieces, did this and this and this, cut this out, like whatever. And like we made like a first song. It was his. And like it was just he told me what the vision was and we talked about it. And then I was like, yeah, I can make this happen. And so from then on, we were like, let's make songs together. And we've just been doing that since like really since COVID started, I think. We kind of tried to push it harder, but
Uh-huh.
then I picked up streaming and here I am. So that's a
Ah, okay,
long,
okay.
long story.
Wow. Okay, so how has COVID affected you, man? This is like in
How
terms
has
of
COVID affected me?
yeah, in terms
Yeah.
of work. In terms of work, has it affected
So I
you at
had to
all
work.
or
Yeah, yeah. So I had to work from home for a while, which is when I would be like, and like a lot of work dried up originally, which is okay because I'm on a paycheck. I'm not like hustling to get work. But I was like, what am I doing? Like, and it's hard because you have to kind of justify what you're doing with your time, especially when
yeah.
you work from home. People are like, what are you doing? Like, they're looking over your shoulder. When you're
Yeah.
in the office, it's like, whatever, he's in the office, he's doing something. And then like, your results count. Like, hey, did you do this stuff? It's like, oh yeah, 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 I did it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you have to do it. So if I work late, that's on me because I didn't do my work, whatever. But now it's like it's been tough. So I started going back to work as things kind of died down, and now that things are picking up, I'm trying not to go in.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, but like I went to work yesterday. I had such a long day, and I'm not even close to being done with all the work that piled up over the last like week and a half.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like, yeah, so it's like
So
it's
are
been
you guys
rough.
still having hearings and
So the
in-person things like
courts are
that?
still going. Yeah, so it's weird. So things in LA are changing very quickly. So like the courts just issued like a thing that they're putting off a lot of criminal cases are put off. Civil cases have been put off for like a long time. So this tells you that like they don't think this is going to end soon. The criminal cases are the best indicator, right? Because they have to go fast. You have a statutory right to criminal trial, speedy trial right.
Right.
So once the presiding judge of California says criminal cases are getting bumped, civil cases are also going to get bumped because that's not even as
Wow.
important. It's not even close to being as important,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then like so that was a big one. And then like the idea that okay, I can't meet with people in person, everything's a phone call is kind of a drag. But I'm trying to make it work. What else can
Right.
I do?
Man, and you have more time to stream now, right? Since you are working from home.
Well,
So,
I can't stream when I'm on the clock, so I have to like do it at night, which is why my
oh,
streams are
okay.
always at night. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
on the
That's why
clock until
I
like
don't
five
catch
or
a lot
six.
of your streams because they're usually
Yeah.
like more mid. I mean, I would say like what? You usually stream at like 7, 8, 9 around there, maybe even
Yep.
later
7, 8, 9.
sometimes.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, but wow, man, that's really unfortunate because like for your job too. I mean, I feel like it's so necessary to actually meet with your clients and like structure a plan and go over like what needs to be gone over. And COVID is just like really the COVID numbers are really spiking and it's really just changing things again, man. I thought things were getting a little bit better.
Me
And then
too.
now I think things are getting a little bit worse, but it might get a lot worse. The numbers keep going up. It's insane, man. Now there's a new strain that I've heard. I don't do too much research,
Yep.
so
I
I don't
heard of
know
that
too
too.
much,
Yep.
but I heard there is a new strain, and now this strain is actually affecting kids because originally COVID
Mhm.
wasn't really affecting kids too much from the stories that I've heard.
Right.
But now this new strain is actually more aggressive and it's actually affecting kids. And Dude, it's just scary where the world is heading, you know? Like, human interaction is so limited now. It's something that we need as humans, and now we're just being sucked up by social media even more. And it's really unfortunate, man. I really hope things get better.
Right. Right,
Really.
me too.
So, let's go back to the music. So, would you say that now you're doing music as more of a hobby versus something that like you really want to
Oh yeah.
make a living doing?
100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm realizing I don't think music will be my, like, okay, they say what's your dream job, you know?
Right.
If I
What?
had to say that, now that I've gone into that, like now I've gone into like streaming and all that, I think having a streaming show would probably be more of my dream job than having like just a pure music career. Because I don't think like music is part of my life and it's a huge part of my life and it's an expression, but it's not like I had gigs with the hip hop thing, but like two, you know what I mean? Like it was like because I was like, and at that time I was still too shy. Now I'm like way more staged. Like I have a better stage presence,
Right.
obviously because of all like the stuff we talked about. But like at the time, I was like, okay, like this probably won't go into anything crazy, but because I was focusing on school and trying to get a job and all this stuff to the point where I would delete music. If you think about that, that's like not easy to do. Like
Yeah.
especially when you're proud of it. And people had said, "Hey, we really liked this. When's the next when's the next song coming out?" And I would release like little singles or whatever I would call them. It was tough. It was like tough to do that. And now I'm like, okay, so I've maybe stunted my own growth in that, or maybe I'm not that good, to be honest. And so like it's just more of a I love music production. I'm working on a project with Superbad right now that I'm not going to reveal the details.
Uh-huh.
That might be it. That might be the music outlet takeoff that could be more in a professional sense. We'll see. We're testing things right now and we're trying out stuff and if it works, then you know what? It might actually be uh like the dream come true from the music side of me in a way that I didn't expect. But we're
Right.
thinking of it in like a different way now. And so hey, if we can make it happen, cool. Like I didn't, but like if that doesn't happen, that's okay with me. I think streaming is more of the thing I want because I like, as you could tell, I like talking.
Yeah.
I like this interaction. So it's like that's more fun for me right now.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because I always wondered. I think I don't remember when you came across my stream, but it was a while back. I think it was right around the time I did this event called Guitar Cookout, and I remember you submitted a track. Remember that contest that I threw for the producers?
Yes,
You
I
made me
loved it.
for.
Yeah, it was
Um,
so much fun. It was so much fun.
yeah, it was super awesome. I'm planning on doing another one soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but I do want to do another one. But yeah, I've always wondered, like, going into your streams, because I know from when I've gone into your streams, you're usually like playing video games, you're just talking, you're just chilling. But I know that you also submitted a track for that contest, so I knew that you were a
Mhm.
musician. So I wasn't sure like where you were at in terms of music and how much of a priority it was for you, you know? But that really
Right.
clears things up. But that project that you're working on, man, I'm really excited to hear it. I know you can't give out too many details, but once it comes out,
Yeah.
definitely link me. Hopefully it goes very well, man. But it's good to hear
We'll
that
see.
you love streaming and you really want to take it seriously. And I really think you can,
Yeah.
man. You got a nice vibe to you. Obviously, you're great at talking. You got good character. You know, you got all the tools that you need to be a successful streamer. So, and I feel like this with streaming, it's more of a long game. Like it's pretty hard to like really build a following and really get to a point where you're making good income and are able to say, you know what, this is going to be my main source of
Right.
living, you know, or my main thing that I'm going to do to make income. So I feel like it's more of the long game, but you're very consistent and you have a good show and you got good presence and I think you're going to be very successful, man. And that's one of the reasons
Thank
why I
you.
also wanted you to come on the show, because it's like, bro, you're super dope. You're starting out just like I am. You know, we haven't even hit the 1 year mark yet, and it's
Right.
just really cool to have streamers who are really trying to build their brand, because we're all in this together. And one thing that I'm
Right.
noticing about Twitch is you got to make sure you're networking and you're building a community, and you're also taking your community, the followers that you have built, to other streams too, and helping other communities grow. And then that way, eventually, dude, we're all just going to grow together. And, my followers are also going to follow you. Your followers are going to follow me. And it's just going to be like this one big happy Twitch family. Versus when I first got into Twitch, I didn't really understand that. I thought it was just like, all right, I'm going to come on here. I'm going to do my thing. Hopefully people like me. And if they don't, I'm going to try it again tomorrow. But now I realize, dude, you gotta go on here. You got to do your thing. And then after that, make sure you raid somebody that you appreciate. Also,
Right.
hang out in other streamers' shows. You can learn a few things by doing that, and you can also,
Right.
communicate with their community. And it's just this. It's more about community. It's very community based. You got to build it together. Find people that you enjoy, and like, let's build together instead of thinking this is my stream and it's only about me. That is the wrong mentality, I think, when you're
Right.
as a
Right.
streamer. It's networking, just like with anything else. You got to network. You
Right.
got to network. It's very important.
Right. So I was talking to my friend Luke, the one I told you about from Australia, when I decided to take streaming to like seriously, more seriously. I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, look, I did a test. I called him. I was like, I did a test like run. People seem to like it. I want to take the show to the next level, but now I really want to grow. Like he said, I said, I have serious aspirations for it. This is going to be it most likely that I want to pursue hardcore. He's like, okay, this is a lot like bands, and you'll relate to this, Jason. He's like, it's like bands. Like he's like, these content creators. You think of yourself as a band, and then you got like another band that you guys play together all the time. You guys tour together, whatever. You cross promoting. He's like, then you've got like other bands that like maybe you open for like a bigger band, and you raid the bigger band, or like opposite. In streaming, I think it would be like the opposite. It would be like the big guy would raid like us, and that's like we're like that's how it would go because he
Right,
gets the
right,
big audience. And in real life concerts, it's the opposite, right? Like the smaller band will go first, smaller artists will go first, and people would trickle in to see the bigger artist meet this new artist and like their music. It's the same idea. So he's like, treat it like that. It's going to take time to grow, but yeah, you're going to be working with people together. And he had a lot of other good advice too, like kind of niche down a little bit in the beginning for
right.
like content creation because of these algorithms, right? Like we were talking about earlier, which is
Yeah.
why I'm doing Tomahawk videos on YouTube, or like I'm playing Call of Duty and maybe Apex Legends now. I'm playing like games, like certain games people come, they know, like, they come for the game and then they stay for me. That's like the goal.
Right.
um like, so a lot for you grew really fast with your feedback streams, right? They were great. People would come for like to show their music, hey, this guy's doing feedback streams, and then they'd like you and they'd stick around, and then they'd comment on other people's music, and then they'd stick around for whatever else you do. That's how it goes. Like
Right,
you
right,
built up
right.
a base. So like, that's what I'm working on now as well. And then then they say that as a content creator or as a streamer, you have to earn, at least for a gaming streamer, let's say, you have to earn the right to play whatever you want. you know
Oh,
like
I see.
I
Yeah.
can't just jump into like Call of Duty Warzone and expect to be like a top guy. There's like professionals playing that. Nobody cares about me. They don't even know me.
Right,
But if
right.
everyone knows me and I jump into like freaking Warzone, and even if I suck and I'm just messing up and like having a great time and making fun of the game, people are like, hey, this guy's ridiculous. We like him. We don't care about the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you have to earn the
exactly.
right.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm
I
earning that
agree.
right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's definitely, like I said, it's the long game, Deathbringer, he was in my stream a while back. I was doing a feedback stream, and I think somebody commented saying, "Man, you deserve so many more viewers." And then Deathbringer's response in the chat was, "It's not a sprint, it's a marathon." And then I read that, and that really resonated with me because it's true. Like with anything, you're not going to start a band, and you're not just going to grow instantly. Of course, there's like
Right.
very rare cases, but
Panic
even in
at the
those,
Disco.
yeah. But even in those rare cases, those people knew a lot of other people that got them. They
Exactly.
were great,
Right.
and they had a good product, but they had people who literally gave them an opportunity to showcase that talent versus
Right.
somebody who has no connections at all, has to start from the ground up. And no matter how good you are, nobody's going to know about you. If nobody knows about you, how are they going to know? They're just not going to. It's like you don't exist, whether your product's good or bad. You just don't
Right.
exist for them because they haven't seen you yet. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's just kind of like playing that long game. But I'm really excited because after a few years, I think we're both going to be fairly successful. And I know it's not about the success for us; it's more about the interaction and just having a good time. But it's going to
Yep.
feel really cool when I can like get on and play like an old school game like Super Mario 64, and then have a bunch of people who just want to hang out and chat, watching me play this old school game just because it's like hanging out with good friends. It eventually
Right.
turns into that. You're just hanging out with the chat, and it's like you're actually interacting, you're talking. It's a great feeling, and I'm
Right.
glad that I started streaming, and I'm also glad that you started streaming too, because I feel like down the line, like a couple years from now, we're gonna look back and be like, damn, remember when we were first starting, bro? And like, look at us now. We've come so far.
Yeah.
And it
So
requires.
remember, Jason, when you featured me on your podcast and I got millions of viewers because of it?
Yeah,
Millions. You
yeah.
guys hear that? You guys hear that in the chat?
Millions.
Millions from this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But
No, I agree with that. It's
yeah,
a lot of fun.
and it's something I wanna touch base with or talk to you about is how do you manage your time, because you have a full-time job, but you're also a Twitch streamer, but you're also getting into content creating. So you're not only streaming on Twitch, but you're also having to take some of these Twitch streams and put together highlight videos for TikTok. Also, YouTube, you got to make sure you post consistently because there's an algorithm that says you have to, and if you don't, it's really tough, and it's very, very time consuming, and it's a very good recipe for burnout. So how do you manage? How do you manage? How do you keep sane?
Poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great answer.
I mean, it's rough. So like, I'll be streaming, and it's hard because like I'm also playing games. I'm having fun. People are talking in the chat, and it's like I don't have a set end time. So I'll be like, hey, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and we're still hanging out. And people from the UK come on in. And like now they're all charged up and ready to go. They just had a
Right.
full night's sleep, and I'm like I can't keep doing this. I have to like just cut it off. And guys, I have to cut this off. It's
Right.
done. So like then I'll sleep at like 3. Then I wake up at like 8:30. I'm like, oh my God. So it's rough. So here's what ends up happening. Like yesterday, 8:30. Okay. Then I get to work. Then I'm like, because I had to go in, even though I'm trying to work from home, but like I had stuff that I had to do that's in office. Like I had stuff in the office I had to go get too. And so I was like, okay, doing all this stuff. Stayed till like I think it was like 6 yesterday, and then drove back in some mild traffic because of COVID. It's kind of lighter.
Right.
Um, drove back, and you know the California traffic, right? So
Oh
drove
yeah.
back, um, and then got home, ate, and like I was like, I need to sleep or something, but I couldn't. So I just downed a bunch of Tropicana orange juice and vitamin C. It actually wasn't even Tropicana. I just joke about that. It was like it was straight up like freshly squeezed orange juice. I just had like so much of it. I just kept drinking it, and it gave me like this energy. And then playing with the guys is a lot of fun. Playing with friends, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, of
and then
course.
like I just knocked out like after that. Woke up this morning super tired. Had to set this up, ready to go. Um, I'm gonna it's gonna catch up to me like tonight or tomorrow morning,
Right,
and then
right,
I'll
right.
try to reset. But usually, if I can get home by like 6:30, I'll nap. That's why I'll wake up at like 7:30 and just go for it. Like
Wow,
7:30,
okay,
8,
okay. So you
start
don't
streaming. Yeah.
you don't really have a set schedule though, do you?
And that's a big mistake. No, see,
Yeah.
it's very, very, laissez-faire over here on the
Right.
channel of a legend. It shouldn't be. I need to have a set schedule. Like I need to be
Yeah.
like, okay, this time, this time, this time. People
Right.
know it's basically now Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because Tuesday and Thursday is when I will do content creation. So I had to pull back from the streaming a little bit, do videos and stuff Tuesday and Thursday. That those nights are for videos, and then, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're generating all the shenanigans that go up on YouTube.
Right.
That's kind of
Yeah,
how it goes.
that's a good way to do it. That's something that I'm trying to do in 2021 because my time management skills are very bad, especially when I first got into YouTube and doing the Twitch streaming and doing TikTok. I would just
Yeah.
wake up and I would just wing it. And then if I had an idea for a video, like have you seen the Nightmare Before Christmas video that I did
Yeah.
on YouTube? So when I was
Yeah.
working on that, I stopped streaming completely. I think I stopped streaming for like 2 weeks because I saw that I was having some
Yeah.
success on YouTube. And then
Okay.
I started having like these ideas of like I want to go all out. I want to use all of my resources and try to make a really good product and arrange music and put a medley together and also get costumes and like a backdrop.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow, okay.
then I just completely forgot about Twitch, focused on YouTube. And then when I came back on Twitch, I noticed that like my view numbers were like way down. And then I started getting into this funk where I felt burnt out. I felt sad because I feel like the progress that I made on Twitch went downhill. And then I stopped having good ideas for YouTube, and I felt like I hit this wall. And I was actually dealing with this last week where I never felt like quitting so much in my life. I literally
Wow.
had like maybe 2 days where I came into the studio and I had my guitar in hand and I literally just stared at the wall for like an hour and a half, kind of thinking about what the hell I'm going to do and if I should even keep doing this. And then I realized the real problem is I'm really bad at time management and I don't have a schedule. So what I did was I bought myself a calendar, wrote down my plan for the week, how many times I want to post on YouTube, what kind of streams I want to do for the week, got organized, and
Right.
now I'm about like a week and a half in, and it took a big load off my shoulders because now instead of winging it and having to figure out exactly what I'm going to do on the spot, I have things that are structured, so I don't get overwhelmed. I know that, hey, as long as I get this done, I've done what I need, so I don't have to stress out about anything else, you know? So I feel like getting a
Great.
schedule and time management is very, very, very important, but it's really hard sometimes, especially when you're not used to it. And that's something I'm not used to at all. So I'm still kind of learning, you know?
Right. I'm trying to. Okay, I'm going to learn from you on that too. So I need to sit down and make a schedule. That was my goal. 2021. We're doing things differently. We're going to make a schedule. I have one in the back of my head where I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday. People know
Yeah,
about it, but it's not posted. So I need to post it and actually stick to it from this time to this time. And then that also forces me to cut off so I could actually sleep
exactly.
and
Yes.
not like burn out and then just be like totally like right now I'm so behind on my video edits. Okay, so like I've been doing tomahawks and tomahawk, right? Like I'm just going nuts with this stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm doing so many more wild things that I used to I would mark every time I get like an interesting kill. Now I have so many that like I go back in my stream and like I don't know if you know, you could like mark the stream using the chat. So it'll leave a marker when you go back to your VODs only for you.
Oh,
So you would
wow.
type in like forward slash marker and then space and a description. It will drop like a marker right there. So when you go as the creator back into your video producer on Twitch, it'll show you all the markers and your little tags on them.
Bro, I had no
So I've been
idea. Wow.
yeah. I used to write them down and then I figured this out. So like I would sit there and try to like, get these things cut up and like I'd review them. Okay, this one wasn't that great. This one's great. Dude, I have like now I'm doing like 21, 25 markers a night and I'm like, when am I going to review all this crap and then cut it up in the video editor,
Yeah.
process it, upload it, do the YouTube like algorithm, like whatever tags and titles and all this crap that I have to do. Like, man, I got to like I'm behind.
Right,
Um
right, right.
so I need like a nice like day or two. And so
Dang.
I gotta be really, really, on it with that stuff. But yeah, I mean it is what it is. We
I
gotta
feel like,
so
go ahead.
just so you don't feel discouraged. The people I've spoken to that have managed success, it's like not BS. It's like they've actually managed them for years. They said, look, you are a tiny, tiny little thing. You're a speck. Don't expect much growth for 2 years. He's like, again, this is like my friend Luke, right? He's like, again, with the band analogy, you are building a catalog right now. Nobody knows who you are. You're going on tour. You're putting your name out there. It's gonna take years. So give it 2 years. He's like, now in 2 years, you're gonna have a base. You're gonna have a fan base, and you're gonna know. You're gonna have some stuff. Then you're gonna want the next step, right? You want to break. Then we talk about your hit single of what you're gonna do with the channel, like a hit single type of thing. He's like,
Right.
unless you get some crazy hit single that goes viral, okay, then like that guy who was like, drinking. This is an example. He give me. He's like, the guy drinking the 40 on the skateboard
Oh, yeah.
with
The ocean spray.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that guy hit like a hit single, and now he's trying to backpedal and make it like a catalog. He's like trying to make an album out of that because he got the hit single first. So that's give it that way. Like, okay, we're building a fan base, and then from what's gonna expand it, but it's gonna take time. It's
Right,
gonna
right,
take
right.
time. It's gonna take our friends in the stream that are our viewers to share it because how else will people figure it out? So
No, that's a very, very good point, and that's a good way to put it, man. I haven't thought about it in terms of that, where, it's like, yeah, you're a local band, you're opening
mhm,
up at these crappy shows, not a lot of people are turning up, but you're still doing it to gain the experience. Eventually, you got to open up for a bigger act. Hey, guess what? Maybe some of their fans start liking you. Then eventually, you end up headlining, and then you headline your own tour, but that doesn't
right,
happen in a day or 2 days or even like months.
right,
And I've actually
right.
heard the 2 year mark a lot on YouTube from other creators. A lot of them say
Okay,
2 years. 2 years is like kind of, I feel like maybe 2 years, if you're consistent for those 2 years and you do things right, maybe that's the time where you can really like assess your progress and be like, all right, what's working and what's not. But right now, we're all kind of experimenting, right? I mean, essentially, as new streamers, we're trying to find ourselves in a way. I've never done this before. I never thought I would do this. So I'm still trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and who I am as a streamer or what I want to represent. So it's
right.
kind of this, it's a journey, honestly. And a lot of people have told me when I feel discouraged that, remember, it's about the journey, not the end goal or the success that you get. It's about the journey and what it took to get there and what you're doing, you know, like the video editing, those long nights, the nights where you're stressed out, the nights where you're burnt out, but you break out of that funk and you still, you know, and you prevail and you still do the thing that you know you have to do, even though you're not really getting the success or the result that you want, you're still doing it anyway, putting in that footwork. That's what it's all about. And I feel like those are going to be the memories that we're going to have down the line as we grow and as we get bigger. We're going to talk about those old times where we're like, dude, remember when blah, 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 or like, man, I remember when I had like one viewer and I was literally just playing guitar by myself for the first 3 hours and I got one viewer and then that person left in 30 seconds. Because that's happened to me in the beginning too, you know? And I feel like those will all turn into like really funny stories down the line. But it's really important to remember, like you said, we're just starting out. We're getting our name out there. Nobody knows who we are. So let's just keep grinding and doing our thing and keep like networking and supporting each other. And eventually, hey, hopefully things will turn out great, you know, and we can make a living doing what we love. Because essentially, that's my goal. I'm not worried about being some like crazy famous person, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I want to do is make a nice living doing what I love so I can wake up every day and be happy and not be like, fuck, I got to wake up in like 3 hours and I got to go to a job that I fucking hate. And I got to be there and deal with people who are really negative and blah, blah. You know, I want to do something that I love for the rest of my life. And I mean, I feel like that's the goal for a lot of us, you know?
Yeah, I also want to do something that I love for the rest of my life, but I love being famous.
Yeah. I mean, being famous would be like the cherry on top. It'd be like the cherry on top, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely want to be famous. There's no question about it. It's like,
no
I'm
question.
popular enough. Yeah, I'm popular now. I want to take it to the next level of famous. Like popular, a lot of people know you. Famous, people who don't know you think they know you. That's where we're going. That's where we're going over here.
So you want to be the dude who like goes outside, goes to like Starbucks for a cup of coffee, and then people realize, oh shit, that's him. They crowd around you, and then you got paparazzis from TMZ. As soon as you get out of your car, they stick a camera right in your face. And
100%.
Hey man,
100%. I'm not even kidding. You know why?
Why?
Because the world needs more famous people like me and you. Like what we discussed earlier about like the division, the way people are. That like this is the way to do it. Okay, like be a famous person and be a good person.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's famous. That's all I want to do. Like I'm sick. That's what I wanted to do since I was like younger. I was like, man, all these like celebrities. Some of them are great. Like some of them are good examples. But like some of them are complete idiots. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I'm like, you know what? Like F this. If I could be famous. Remember the show The Real World?
Oh yeah, of course.
T to the C. That reminds me of PNC.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for the bits. Appreciate that.
Do you remember? Okay, so the show The Real World. All I wanted to do was go on that show. I hated like reality TV, like I told you, right? But I wanted to go on that show, and everyone's doing drama. I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to the beach. Anybody want to come? Like, man, F you, blah, blah. All right, see you guys later. Like, just not be bothered. Just be a normal, good person, and then come back with like In-N-Out for everybody, or like pizza. I'm like, what the hell, man?
Okay,
Don't you know this guy was talking about you? Oh, he was? Hey, bro, you were talking bad about me. Do you want to go get some like, you know, like some sodas and like some milkshakes and talk about it? Like, you know, people would be like, what the hell? This guy's like going all crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, thanks for the bits.
Hey,
but yeah, like,
thank you.
That's what I'm saying is like, I just want to be famous to be a good person. Like I'm done hiding like the fact that like the secret, like I want to be famous. I don't want to be famous like, you know, like reality TV style. I just want to be like someone that people like, and they're like, and I think they would like me, and they'd be like, hey, he's setting a good example. Like, you know, I just go up there and be like, hey, be good to each other, guys. Don't do this crap. Just knock it off. If I could do that, that's a goal accomplished.
Then you would be an influencer at that point, but you would be influencing people about positivity instead of like saying ridiculous things for clickbait and making millions of people believe some BS. So I really like that perspective, because I feel like when somebody hears another person say, "Yeah, I want to be famous," it's like, "Oh, what a d-bag." But when you explain why, it's like, "Oh, you know what? I want to be famous too for those same reasons."
Yes, I want you to be famous for that reason. That's why I'm cheering on like your success, because I'm like, okay, Jason's a good guy. Like I see you, you know, I see people saying things, and you always like want to dispel any like issues and like kind of bring people together. And it's not some fake like, hey guys, like it's not like guys, let's all be like, cool. And it's like, no, you're actually like, hey, let's, you have the mind backing. You're like, hey, let's be like, let's chill and let's discuss things together. Or, you know what, we don't have to discuss these things. Whatever it is that we were talking about earlier
Right.
is exactly why someone should listen to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not like, people right now are saying, oh, like some famous people or influencers are like, oh, like, hey guys, everyone chill out. Blah 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 is right. And it's like, no, like you are now isolating like some people who don't agree with you, and you might not be right,
Right. Right.
There
Right.
are obviously there are some facts that are facts, but like you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to these opinions, like they're again doing the same thing. They're assuming they have the moral high ground. Whereas like you and I are saying, look, the real moral high ground is that everybody's entitled to an opinion, and people should respect each other and talk to each other in open dialogues.
Yeah.
Maybe be open to the fact that you might be wrong. Like what we were saying earlier, you might be wrong, you might be right, and that's just how it is. And it's okay. It's
Right.
okay to be wrong, and it's okay to for the other person to be right. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Let's move on. Let's
Yeah.
get together. That unity is like, that's what we need. And yeah,
No, no, no. I,
it's
dude, I agree 100%, man. And it's really cool because, okay, when I asked you to be on the show, I didn't really know what we were going to discuss or how this was going to play
yeah,
out. But then we
right,
ended up getting into like a really awesome conversation that I loved, about like social media and how, just the negativity that is being spread all the time. And it's just really cool to meet somebody that I would have never met before if it wasn't for Twitch TV. But now it's like, here we are, we're doing a podcast together and we're actually talking about topics that actually matter. And we're not just here,
right,
doing this one big shit show comedy skit, which is awesome and I love it. But
right,
I like both sides. I love comedy. I love comedy that makes absolutely no sense, where people say stupid things just because it's funny and it's awesome. But I also love when
right.
I hear two people talk about serious topics and topics they're actually passionate about, And it's really cool
Right.
because I did not think that this show would go into these conversations, but they did, and this is like, honestly, I'm having such a good time, man. This is really,
It is
really
a
dope.
good It is a really good conversation. I didn't think we'd go this way either, but I'm happy we did because it's just it's giving me hope. I've been seeing so much stuff. I felt like I'm such a minority in the way I think. But man, like I've been talking a lot of streamers. You think that like a lot of people on social media are like, you know, single-minded. Like they're maybe one of the people that feel like they're right about everything, and anyone who disagrees is a racist or like whatever.
Right, right,
Like
right,
and it's hard. So it's hard to like reveal your opinions on social media, and Twitch is social media. But like talking to you about this right now, like I just knew you as a person. I could feel like I know you as a person.
right.
Seeing your show, chatting with you, like whatever. And so it's like I was comfortable just revealing myself, and it's just interesting that like you feel the same way, like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
exactly.
other
It's super
people are the
cool.
same. I'm seeing that happen more and more. It's like you just let your guard down a little bit, which is what we should all be doing. Let your guard down,
Right.
everybody, and open up. And it's like wow, like I'm met with we feel the same way. Like we're looking at the world the same way. So there's a lot more of us than we realize, and it makes me happy and gives me hope. But man, like I did not think we were gonna go this deep, but hey, it's
I know,
cool.
same here. It's super awesome. So something I want to ask you. Okay, so we're both Middle Eastern. Now,
Right.
are you first generation Arab American? I guess you can say. Are you first
I don't
generation?
consider myself Arab, so I'm from the Egyptians that were like the ancient Egyptians, like not from the Arabs. So like I consider myself Egyptian, like African Egyptian. But yeah, my first generation of the Middle Eastern people. Yeah, like my parents came here in the 80s, so I was
Now,
born here.
now, how was that? Now, were your parents?
Huh.
Did your parents have the mindset of like, I guess you can say the people back home? Like, was it very kind
Hmm.
of one-sided? Because I dealt with that a lot when I was younger because my parents came here from Jordan.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because now that I'm older, they've also like they are just so open minded now, and it was really crazy to see the transition because when you grow up in another country, I mean you're surrounded by people who are like minded, right? People who think like you. And back then there was no social media, so
Right.
whatever was happening in your community, in your family, whatever, that's gonna be what the way you're gonna kind of look at life as, that's the way your perspective on life is going to be most likely because you're influenced by the people around you and there's no outside influence like there is now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember it as a little bit of a struggle for me being, the I consider myself, first generation. What would you say, Middle Eastern American or Arab American? I'm not
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
what the
sure.
proper way to say it is.
Different people say different things. Yeah, I would say I'm saying Middle Eastern because I feel Middle Eastern, but I'm not Arab, even though I'm I know the Arab community, like
Right.
obviously because very closely tied.
But yeah, like for me, I remember, and it's so embarrassing to say, but I remember when I was first growing up. I grew up in Orange County, actually. So, there's a lot of,
Same here.
there wasn't too many Middle Easterns at my school at all,
Yeah.
and it was like I was kind of ashamed of being Middle Eastern, and I hate saying
Oh,
this
okay.
because I am not this way at all anymore. But even like speaking the language, I would be embarrassed to speak the language outside in public because I knew nobody else around me was Middle Eastern. Everybody else was kind
Yeah.
of whatever they
Right.
were. But it was really, really like interesting to grow up with that mindset. And I did you ever have anything like that, or maybe a different experience?
Totally. So, okay. You had a lot of questions there that I do have experiences with. So, like the parents and the transition. Yeah. Like it's interesting to see how much like my parents and like my aunts and uncles and stuff have transitioned. But here's the interesting part. I'm looking back now at the decisions they made. So when they came from another country, right? A Middle Eastern country, Arab, very conservative, right? And they come to the United States of America, right? And they see like, women with shaved heads, like not for like medical reasons, just like shaved heads and like mohawks. They see like all kinds of like, whoa, this is stuff like
Yeah,
they've only
yeah,
seen like in concerts on TV, but like now like they're living there. Okay, whatever. They're having fun. But now they have kids, right? So they're thinking, hold on, hold on, hold on. Like I know what the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and all that stuff was about, and now I have a kid. Like, no, no, we're staying away from like this devilish like behavior, right? That's like the kind of mentality. Like, whoa, 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 whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
No, I can relate.
So
Yeah,
at the time, I was like, what the hell, man? My parents, bro. Like, you're not even my real parents. I don't even love you. Like, whatever, all this crap, right? But like they were my real parents. I'm just being an idiot, like kid, right? Like just
right.
saying whatever to hurt them. Rebellion. And it's like, well, they they were actually pretty open-minded, like, they were very much into, like, we're about other cultures and, like, learn about other cultures, but you have your culture, and we're super, super proud of being, like, ancient Egyptians, right? Like, pharaohs and all that stuff, like, our people invented the number pi, like,
Right.
22 what is it? Yeah, whatever,
Yeah.
22 divided by 7. Um, we're so proud of that, right? So it's like, that was, like, injected in me big time, like, this is your ancestry and like learn about it and share it, but learn about other people's ancestry too. Like, look, these people came from this and these people suffered and those people did this. And like, you have to understand where people are coming from. And so that was like a fun thing, right? Um, but what I didn't know at the time was not everyone was raised that way. Like, not everyone was raised to celebrate culture. And I do believe it's something about immigrants coming to the States on purpose. Many of them, wanting to learn other cultures and some of them wanting to shelter from other cultures. And it's just like a decision they made because to protect their family. Like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it becomes hard. So sometimes like I have people in the same community as me that were totally different, raised completely differently. Like rock music is evil and like blah blah blah. I remember someone in our community when we started a band told my parents, "Hey, did you know that your kids, like my cousin and like our friends, right? They're doing rock music." Parents like, "Yeah, what's wrong with it?" Like, "It's the devil." And they're like, "It's music of the devil." My parents like, "Get out of here, dude. Like, it's not the music of the devil." And that was like
Right.
a big thing. And it was like in the community, like, "Oh my God, they're like making a band." And like the families of the kids involved, like, "What are you talking about? Music is beautiful. Like, music is great." Like, no, it's for it was such a weird divide. And those are two sets of mindsets that came to the same country at the same time with um different ways that they thought was right. And like eventually those people obviously came around and they're like, wow, this music is really great. Like it's a good thing. You can bring like, good messages through. You could use it for positivity. But all they knew was like death metal. I love like metal, right? Like, but I mean, even death metal, look at like Killswitch Engage, right?
Oh
They're not
yeah.
death metal, but Killswitch Engage, they have like religious tones in their music and like they're like about like peace and like love and it's like, but it's heavy, right? It's heavy metal. It's like, and they think like, oh my God, this is like so heavy. Like this is clearly like devil and they're talking about murder. It's like, no, they're actually talking about like harmony and like all kinds of weird, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like get an open mind. It's back to our same thing. So yeah, I've seen like a lot of people in that my parents' generation evolve. but for me, so then when you go into like, okay, where like was I ashamed of like my culture or like kind of hiding it? Maybe not ashamed, but like hiding it. I wasn't really. I was definitely like the black kid in like an OC school, right? Because like there was like no black kids. Like I was the darkest kid, like me
Yeah, yeah,
and like
yeah.
Latinos and like Filipinos, right? And it's like, what's up, Tron?
What up,
So it's
Tron?
just interesting. Oh, Deathbringer, I love that pie, the pie
That's
flames.
beautiful, man.
So, like, yeah. So like, I wasn't like I grew it was weird because like Egyptians in my sub ethnicity, like of Egyptians, like my ethnicity, like we're African. So we really relate to African like culture. Like we relate to black culture a lot.
Right.
And so I grew up listening to hip hop, but like it was kind of on the side. I wasn't like digging into music the way I do now. But like a lot of kids would like think like, hey, like we're African American, I guess. Like, we're not associated, we're not like connected to anyone else. Like we didn't feel connected to the Arab community. There wasn't many people that were like Arabic speakers. Like, so we're just who accepted us, like the black kids, they're like, hey, for me personally, I was accepted more by the Asian kids, like the
Uh-huh.
Latinos, like, so it was like weird. Like, I didn't have too many black friends like growing up because I was in Orange County, so it wasn't a lot. But most of us
Right.
were in LA. So like when I'd connect with like other Egyptians in like our community, like okay, that's how they were. And like we were like more like OC kids, right? Like surfing and like skateboarding and like that
Oh
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. So
Yeah, yeah,
it was a
exactly.
weird thing. So I never fit in with like you're right. Like I never fit in with like the white kids and I didn't want to be whitewashed. So I just kind of like became my own thing in a way that like was really supported by my actual community. Like
Uh-huh.
I really ended up sticking to a lot of the people in my ethnic community because we all felt like kind of the same way and we all accepted like however way you went, like in terms of culture.
Right.
Um, so I didn't like shy away from it. I was proud of it, but I also didn't like super connect to a lot of these kids originally until like maybe towards the end of high school where I was just like, who cares, And then that's when
Yeah.
people started like wanting to connect more because you just don't care anymore. And like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy's cool. It's like,
Right.
who would have thought, right? As a kid, you don't know this, but like,
Right.
so I didn't really feel ashamed of it or hide it, but like, I didn't like, I mean, I don't know if my social life suffered like
I
for the
got a
first few
question.
years in middle school.
I got a
Yeah.
question. Something that I always struggled with was back. Okay, so I'm sure you did the same thing. You know the state testing that we would do like back in elementary
Yes, yes,
school and
yes,
middle
yes, yes.
school.
What do you mark?
You,
What do you
you
mark?
when you have to mark your race, and I'm just like, it doesn't say Middle Eastern here. What the
It was so
hell?
messed up.
Yeah,
It was so
and
messed
then
up.
I
So
think I would either, I think it was Caucasian, other, or Asian that I would have to bubble in, and I was always like so
garbage.
confused about that, bro.
It was garbage. It was garbage. And like I learned that like the Hispanic
What's
community,
up, Code Easy?
um,
Uh huh.
what's up, Code Easy? The Hispanic community was like very like so this stuff we didn't know as kids, right? We were just like, oh my gosh, what do I answer? Like blah blah blah. And our parents don't know, like I don't know, like the hell, like why are they asking this? Like
Yeah,
parents
yeah,
are like, whoa,
yeah.
whoa, 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 they're asking for your papers, like what's going on? Like you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
we
exactly.
came from countries that don't, so
Yeah,
like it's basically what it came down to. Great seeing you too, Codizi. What it came down to was like I learned when did I learn this? I think the last year of my college, like one of my classes, I took like some, I don't know, the BS stuff that you take or whatever. Like you just want to get like credits and like it's also a cool class. It was some interesting class about like race and all this stuff and like how much of a social construct has become. And like how like I think the Latino community or another community, uh maybe Pacific Islander or some community was like, "Hey, you're not even talking about us, and we're like millions of people in your country. You don't even give
right.
us a bubble to fill out." So they lobbied to get like a bubble to fill out, and then like other communities have been lobbying, and the way to do it is through like the census. So like, um, I remember like learning. I was like, "Wow, no wonder like we weren't represented." Now
Yeah.
they've added. I don't know if you know if you fill out those bubbles, they added. Um, they put in white and they put in parentheses Middle Eastern.
Well, it's
Or no,
about
they put
damn
Arab.
time.
No,
It's
they put
about
like
damn
Arab
time.
or something. I was like, "Well,
Oh,
I'm not
really?
Arab, so then what?"
Oh,
Then they started writing African American. It used to be African American black. Then they separated it. You could be African American and not black. like, okay, so everybody has their own system. And it's like, what
Right.
do you, okay, so like African American, but not black. And it doesn't include South African, right? So like, whatever. So it's like, where do you go with that? And then like now, I think what I saw most recently was like white, and in parentheses, it's like Middle Eastern, Arab, or Northern African countries. Like North African countries. Like, okay, all right, now that's me.
Hey, that's my
Gotcha.
bubble right
You
there.
got
I
me. You
got
found me. You
you.
found me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But
man,
it's
that's
like, come on, this racial stuff is like, they obviously even try. They're trying to figure things out, but like,
yeah.
you know, they're not even doing it right. So it's like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. No, that's dude, that's something you brought up a good point earlier about
Time to time.
music and how like, there's some people in I guess I'm going to say in our culture because we're both Middle Eastern. I know
Yes,
it's a
yes.
little bit different for you, but
Yeah.
so yeah, it's like there are two sides of it, right? Where some Middle Easterns, they listen to metal music and it's just music. It is what it is, whether they like it or not. But then others like, this is the devil's music. Oh, what is this? Why does it sound like that? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like,
Right.
it's so funny, and I'm just fortunate. I'm so lucky that when I told my parents that I wanted to play guitar, they were very supportive. When I started joining bands, they were very
Nice.
supportive. But I remember one thing that I struggled with was back when I was in elementary school, I always wanted to grow my hair out. I wanted to be able to like headbang and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like I was
Yeah.
super into like Def Leppard, AC/DC, they all had the long
Yeah.
hair, they all had the look. Man, me and my dad would always argue about getting my hair cut. And I would finally say, okay, fine, let's get my hair cut, but I don't want it too short. We would go to the barber, and then they would end up pretty much shaving my head. Me and him would get into another argument.
Barber.
Yeah.
Like,
And
the
sometimes,
barber's like, got it.
bro, sometimes I'd be looking at him. Sometimes I'd be looking at him through the mirror, and it's like I could see what he's doing, and I'm like, what? No. And then I'll like throw this fit, but I was just.
They like strap your arms.
Yeah.
What are you doing to me?
Exactly. I'm just so glad that like my parents they always supported me no matter what kind of music I listened to.
That's great.
Whether they liked it or not, they did not care. They used to buy me like AC/DC live concert
nice.
videos and like Def Leppard and stuff like that. And I remember when they would go to sleep, I'd put it on the big screen. I'd be rocking out in the living room, jumping on the couch, using pillows as a guitar and stuff like that. And I'm just very fortunate because I know there's other Middle Easterns, first generation Middle Eastern Americans who come here and their parents are so strict that they have to go to a certain school or they can only hang out with a certain group of kids. And it's really, really tough for them because you can't blame the kid if the kid ends up rebelling against them, but you also can't blame the parents for thinking the way they do because it's the only thing they know. So it's just, it's honestly.
But like, I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, come on, we've seen other families, like our families are like examples. You guys who have just got here, you see the other families who've done it successfully. Maybe they don't like the fact that you have long hair, now, like these communities or like these, let's say a family coming in. I think that the way our parents, it sounds like our parents were very similar, did it is the right way. And like,
Right.
I know I don't want to say like, okay, no, it's a better way. It's an easier way for the kid because the kid then ends up like just embracing other cultures and being open-minded and still having grounded like a core, like you have a grounded core. And it's like, I think that's the fear that the kid will lose the core. But like when I look at these parents that are coming in now, it's like, come on, dude, like the parents who came in the 80s didn't have much of an example, but now from like their country, but now there's so many like families that came from in the 80s and 90s that if you're coming in the 2000s and the 2020s, like you have an example of like how it goes. But hold on, like, I'll backtrack that because on the other hand, you're saying that's what they know, so they might think that we've gone wild. Like they might think like, what the hell is this guy? He looks like a girl. Why is he having his hair so long? I don't understand. He has a beard, but he has a girl hair. It's like, okay, all right, you know what? Maybe they still think it's wrong.
But I am talking more about, like 10, 15, 20 years ago, like before the internet was even big. Because I feel like now with the internet, no matter what, people are seeing a lot of different sides of the world.
That's
the internet. The internet has definitely opened up a lot, and even if these communities or these people think that it's negative, at least they're being exposed to it and they know exactly what's going on. And
I think
I feel like and it's really hard for these kids who do have to deal with the really, really strict parents because they end up feeling like they don't belong anywhere, right? Because then they don't want to hurt their parents, but they also maybe feel like they want to express themselves in a way that their parents don't agree with, and then it creates this conflict within them, and then they end up feeling like they're the problem, and that could be really, really dangerous.
That's problematic. Yeah, that's hard. Or they reject their parents' culture entirely. I hate the fact that I'm Middle Eastern American. I hate it. I'm just American
Yeah.
now. I have no culture. I don't
It,
want. It's like, but like that's kind of like part of the beauty of who you've become. Like where you came from, and it's like
right.
I'm seeing Deathbringers,
Deathbringer.
Italiano, huh? Straight A student in high school, and all your parents did was yell about having long hair, dude. Yeah, like those like yeah. My parents were hard on grades. My parents were very big on education. That's why like I went through so much education. They're like, look, whatever you want to do is fine. Like as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, it's positive, it's good. But it cannot affect your education because no one can take away your education. They
Yeah.
might even take away your like license to do whatever. They wanted me to do like medicine and all that stuff in the beginning. That was like a kind of a thing, but
Yeah.
like they were like, hey, like whatever you do, like no, even if they take away that, they can't take away the fact that you know it. They can't take away what you know.
Yeah.
So like the more you know, the better off you are. So they pushed really hard, and that's like that was their ticket to get to the States. So they're thinking that's your ticket as a they're telling me that's your ticket to like make whatever you want later. And it's been true. I'm lucky that I have my education. It was not easy, but like they supported and pushed. They pushed really
Right.
hard. Did I do all my dreams and stuff? Working on those right now. But
Exactly.
like it wasn't wrong that like now I have this education and I'm happy that I have it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there's multiple paths. Now, okay, another evolution, right? The other day I think my mom was saying like, like so and so, like they're pushing their kids so hard to like do college, but he's college isn't for him. Like he's gonna make it without it. Like college isn't for everyone. And I was like,
You're
when
like,
did that come out?
wait a
When did you
minute. Yeah.
when did you hit the follow button on whoever said that? Like when did you subscribe to this theory? Because for us it was like, if you don't go to college, you're nothing. Like to us, it's like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It's like you're
Exactly.
dead to me. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do? You're
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah.
write music. You're gonna write books. I'm like, well, like I want to just like no 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 no. I was like okay. Fine. I'll just do. And like I remember when I like told my parents like I started off as a biomedical engineer in college. That was my major, my first year, which is freaking gnarly. It's like so much freaking science, and I hated my life. And I could have done it. I just didn't want to. Like
Mhm.
that was my biggest problem. Is if I'm not motivated, I'm not doing it. Like
Yeah.
if I don't see a good thing coming out of it, I don't care. So I didn't want to do it. But anyways, I switched majors at the end of my first year, so that my second year I would start. And then I took summer school and stuff to like try to catch up on a different major completely to do journalism.
Right.
And I remember like second year, my parents like, "Hey, did you take like organic chemistry yet?" I was like, "Oh no." And they're like, "Second year class?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably not gonna take it." They're like, "You're not gonna even take it?" I was like, "No, well, because they know I switched majors and stuff." They're like, "Oh yeah," because I had told them I'm switching majors, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "So no chemistry?" I'm like, "Nope." They're like, "Not even in the whole entire year?" I was like, "No," and like, I was like,
Oh
"Ugh,
yeah.
ugh."
Yeah, I
Like,
hate that like disappointing feeling they give you. It's like,
yeah, the
that's
guilt.
way worse.
But you know
Dude,
what?
that is way worse than them like screaming at you and getting really mad.
Yeah,
It's like because
I know.
it just hits you like straight in the heart and you're like,
Right.
"No, I did not want to do
Yeah.
that."
I
But
affected them so negatively that they can't even scream now. Like,
yeah,
they're just
yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, it's tough, man. It's tough. But honestly, I think we were both definitely very fortunate that our parents were open-minded. Oh, Tron redeemed special dance. Are you ready?
Do I
Let's
have to do
dance.
the same thing? Do I
Yeah.
have to do it too?
To know music. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You should do like the Egyptian dance. Like what do they do? This little thing. Oh yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Hey. All right. Cool. Thank you, Tron, for redeeming that and making things very awkward. I really appreciate it. I love it.
Thanks, Tron. I've
Yep.
always wanted to dance with what's his name doing the what? Digging the
Shaw.
Are you happy, Tron? Are you happy?
Oh, digging the show. Yo, thank you so much. I'm glad. Everybody who was in
Like,
here who's tuning in, yo, thank you so much. This is awesome. Yo, dude, again, of a legend. This is like really awesome. And honestly, the conversations that we're getting into are like just so awesome. But before we continue this conversation, I have to say something. Your outfit is on point, bro. Can you tell us a little bit about your fit and how you put it
Yeah,
all
this is
together?
I'm wearing a company called Goop. It's by Gwyneth Paltrow. It's a special brand. They sell a lot of uh, products for women that are not something I want to talk about on stream.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Um, I just found out about them last night, and I'm also wearing this headband right here is Prada. I love Prada. This bracelet is made in China, so I don't know who made it. And then yeah, no pants. So oh, the shirt is from H&M. I didn't know
Nice.
I was gonna have to say all my sponsors on here, but special thanks to Jimmy over at Prada. You know, couldn't have made it happen without you. Thanks, bro. And you know, Sally over at the Boop company. What was the name of it? Goop, Geep. I forgot the name of it. It was like a joke from last night. Thanks a lot. You know, making it happen. And you know, I couldn't have done it without you. My microphone is by Rode, Australian company. Love Australians. And yeah, that's about it.
Why do you
My
have a
beard is
Porsche?
homegrown.
Why do you have a? Oh, okay, is it Porsche or
A Porsche
Porsche?
flag?
Porsche flag.
Porsche.
Yeah,
Porsche.
okay,
Porsche.
it's Porsche. I'm not gonna butcher
Yeah.
that. Porsche. Why do you have
Yeah.
a Porsche flag back there? Do you
I love Porsche. It's like my favorite kind of car.
do you have one?
Porsche and Honda.
Do you have a
Do I have
Porsche?
one? Yeah, I do actually.
What?
I have it.
Bro,
Yeah, it's
come
not
pick
like
me up. Pick me up right now, bro. He lives in LA. Bro, pick me up right now, man. Let's go for a ride. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I live in LA. You're like what? How many miles away? 60 miles away? Be there in 20 minutes.
Like 45.
Porsche.
45.
Porsche.
Porsche.
20 minutes. I'll be there in 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Thank you, Porsche. See, they should sponsor me.
Bro, you are gonna be sponsored. Watch, dude. In like 2 years, I already know you're gonna be dressed from head to toe in like these leopards, this beautiful leopard spotted pattern, and then you're gonna drive one of the most expensive Porsches, and you're just gonna go in there. You're gonna get in there. You're gonna drive to a Starbucks. You're gonna get out. You're gonna have a TMZ crew surrounding your car, and then you're gonna say it's all about love and positivity. And they're gonna harass you, and you're just gonna smile, and you're gonna buy everybody coffee. I can already see it.
And they're gonna drop their phones and drop their jaws, and they're gonna be like, "Man, this is like I've never seen someone like this before."
You're gonna make them
Otak
quit their
knows.
jobs. You're gonna make them quit their jobs. Which, dude, TMZ
They're gonna
is like,
start.
bro, they literally harass people, man. Like,
I know. They've gone way too far. They've turned into their own reality TV show. That's what it is because of the show.
I know.
But they're actually a pretty decent like reporting establishment, to be honest. Like they report facts pretty well. It just they know how to report trash accurately. So like they don't have to do clickbaity stuff. It's already trash, but they just can be like legit like as an establishment. It's a really interesting thing. And I mean the guy who started was a lawyer, right? Harvey, what's his name?
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
It's the guy from People's Court.
Oh,
Harvey, the lawyer in People's
way.
Court that would talk about. Yeah, he's the head of the show. Or I don't know if he's still on the show, but whatever. He's the main guy. They okay, let's see. They sell not scented candles. Nothing like a Porsche. Osak knows. I just found out last night. Osak's a good friend of mine, and like I've known him for years, like 10+ years, not realizing that he had a Porsche.
Bro, I'm gonna have to buy one, man. I drive a Toyota Corolla right now.
Oh, you're in for a world of difference. Do you drive stick shift?
No, I don't. I got to learn how to drive stick shift too.
Learn how to drive it. Honda and Porsche, my two favorite cars, I think. And Ferrari is, you know, a nice dream car, but I don't know enough about Ferrari to even say now that I would claim them. Porsche is like, I have an old one. I have the first generation Cayman. It's a smaller car. I love it.
Oh, okay. Oh, he had to sell it during the recession. Oh man.
Once a Porsche owner, always a Porsche owner. I had a boss who was like, he like brought me into his office one time. He's like, I heard you bought a Porsche. I was like, how'd you know? And it's like almost like the rumblings in the force. He was like, I have one too, you know. I was like, what? He's like, I got my first one in law school, like an old one. He's like, I couldn't get over it. Bought another one, bought another one, bought another one. I was like, what the? He just kept buying them as he moved along, and as his like pay increased, he would get better ones. You know what I mean?
Dude, that is awesome, man. What?
Yeah. So I got the entry level, almost entry level. Essentially, the very first one you should get, which is I think the Cayman. Excuse me. Osak got his first one for $5,000. Yeah, definitely.
Wait, 5,000? You can get one.
Yeah,
for 5,000?
you can get them for cheap. Why? I mean, why do you
serious?
think I'm streaming, man?
Dang,
yeah.
dude. What? Okay. I don't know too much about cars, as you can tell. The way that I buy my cars is I go into the dealership and I look for something that's pretty cheap that has good gas mileage, and then I'm good. That's it. But eventually, if I become successful, I do want to buy a really nice fancy car that I could just, you know, like show off in. Just make vlogs and like just come out of my car really slow and have like epic music playing in the background with like the wind blowing my hair and all that. I would totally love that, but I'm not at that level yet. But maybe one day.
It's funny because I never wanted a Porsche for like brand name. I wanted it for the performance of the car. Osak, your last one was 225. I'm guessing you had a GT3 or what?
Whoa.
No, maybe GT2? Widowmaker?
You just need
so
a
there's
car
different
painted
911.
chroma key green. I don't even know what that looks like. I don't even know what
Yeah,
color
so he could
that
drive
is.
it. Yeah, then it's any car. He could just put on post production. He could put any car on top
Oh, I get. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yo, okay. I want to play a little game with you. Is that cool? It's called I Must Ask You a Question. I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I want you to answer them. I mean, that's what questions are for, right? For answers.
Is it truth or dare or what?
No,
have I
it's
not
not truth or
answered?
dare.
Have I not satisfied this requirement like throughout the whole show? I've answered every question you've asked me.
You've done decent. I mean, I'd give you a 5 out of 10, and that's me being pretty generous. I'd say. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
You've been dare. All right, I dare you to drive your Porsche over here and hand me the keys and let me have it for free.
You wouldn't even know how to turn it on.
I know I wouldn't.
I'm not even kidding.
I know.
I'm not even kidding.
No,
if you don't drive stick, I know you won't be able to turn it on. Like,
bro, I know.
so I could definitely do that.
Okay, number 1, favorite band of all time. Do you have one?
Favorite band? I have to say Thrice. You know why? They've influenced me so much in my life. Like when I started listening to them when they were just starting out, I love their lyrics. They influenced my entire. They made me like writing and reading, which made me like literature, which made me go into journalism as a degree, which made me, because I knew I wanted to go into law, it made me want to go into law, made me want to read more poetry, all that stuff. It made me like influence my hip hop like stuff. It's like I have to say Thrice. I mean, I have to, even if I'm not too huge on their latest album, but man, like they're the biggest influence that I've
Were
had.
you ever into bands like Circus Survive and Seosin and bands like
Yes.
that?
Seosin was like that whole like ring of bands I knew, like Thursday.
Dance Gavin
okay,
Dance.
Second.
Oh, Thursday.
No,
yeah.
I didn't listen to them. I didn't listen. I knew that. It's like I'd go to shows, I'd know these guys. It's like, okay, that's so and so, that's so and so, because I'd see them at small shows when they were like local. A lot of them would come out to SoCal. And you grew up in OC, so you knew like it's all the same rings of people. Did you ever go to what's the name of that?
Is it an event?
One
Warped
off
Tour?
of Lincoln.
Oh no, never mind.
No.
Chain Reaction. Right?
Chain Reaction.
Yeah.
Chain Reaction.
Oh yeah, I've played there
all the time.
Yeah,
All
I've
the
actually
time.
played like 4. I played my very first show with Chain Reaction when I was like 17. I was like a singer songwriter, just me and my acoustic.
God.
I went up there, bro. Back then I was writing songs. I knew chords. I don't even know the name of chords. All I knew was how to strum. I wrote lyrics, wrote my own songs, and bro, I went up there. My guitar, I had just changed the strings on my guitar like like 4 or 5 hours before the show. Went up there, I didn't have a tuner. My guitar was completely out of tune. That was just such a shitty performance. But that was at Chain Reaction. There was like maybe 6 people there. Those 6 people were my friends.
It was packed. 6 people is packed at Chain Reaction. It's a tiny hole.
That's what I loved about Chain Reaction was when it did get picked, when there was a really good band playing, bro. The energy would be crazy, getting up on that stage, crowd surfing, just people moshing, going. Oh, I loved it, bro. Oh, the vibe in there. They closed it down, right?
Yeah, because like a huge fire marshal issue. They had like 500 people and like not 5. They had like what 200 people, maybe 100 people, 150 people crammed into like a max occupancy. I'd always see like max occupancy 10 or like something so ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Oh God.
Dang. Yo, Big Boy on Fire. Circuit Survive. Difference between medicine and poison is in the dose. You know what's up, bro. You know.
Oh, is that? Yeah. This guy like. So, okay. So I love, I got to say, a very, 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 very close second place in that arena of music is Coheed and Cambria. Could be almost first place. Coheed and Cambria I've loved since the beginning. And like, they went into a direction where I was like, oh, I'm not really digging the albums. Then they totally came back. I think they got their bassist back or their drummer back. Oh my God. Like their most recent stuff, I'm loving it. Like they have the Afterman, like a 2-album release. I love Coheed and Cambria. Have you ever listened to Coheed and Cambria?
Yeah. Well, I only know their 2 biggest hits. I forgot what their there was one song that was in Rock Band. It had a really, really, really good guitar riff. Do you remember the name of it?
10 Speed and God's Blood Burial or something like that.
I think it might be that one. I think it might be that one.
Or there's like what, Favorite House Atlantic.
I think I've heard that one as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a couple in there. But dude, you should give them like a serious listen because the albums are like full albums.
Give me
And another,
give me a few
yeah,
Spotify links after the podcast, and I'll definitely
I will.
check them
I
out.
will.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
to new music, and it's not that I didn't
Yeah, I
like
think
them.
you'd like it.
I just never sat down and
You
listened
didn't
to
give him a
them.
chance.
Yeah,
Yeah, you didn't have a chance. Yeah, you didn't
yeah,
give
yeah.
him. Yeah. So that's what I would think.
Cool.
That's my answer to that.
What's your favorite place to eat?
Oh, favorite place. Oh my God. I love eating at different places. Like I love them. Like I love like fast food restaurants. I love restaurants. I'm kind of a junkie with like eating food, and it's a thing about fresh food.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Favorite place? I don't know. You have to narrow it down. It's like saying like, what's your
Mm,
favorite song? It depends on the flavor of the how I'm feeling today. You know what I mean?
where do you go most of the time if you are hungry? Do you have like a place that you go like that's kind of your go-to? If you're kind of
So I'll
confused on
go.
what to get, you just kind of go
Yeah.
there just because you know it's
So
good.
I would say, no, I go on kicks. Like I'll be like, right now I'm on a Wendy's kick. Like I
Oh
haven't gone to
really?
Wendy's for like 10 years. I'm going like every day because I'm like trying everything on the menu because it's like a brand new world to me. In-N-Out's a huge favorite.
Oh bro, hell yeah.
Um, Tacos, I mean, we're in SoCal. Tacos are like fan freaking tastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Osak knows California In-N-Out.
Bro, In-N-Out,
Um,
oh, so good, so good. The people
yeah,
who
so
don't have
good.
In-N-Out where they live, oh, man, you got to try it. Come to California and
Yeah.
try it out. They also have one in Vegas, so you can go to Vegas too if you want.
Yep. Um, there's a lot of like a Chick-fil-A, huge Chick-fil-A fan.
Oh, Chick-fil-A's great,
Yeah,
yeah, delicious.
love the sauce. I mean, it's a great place to eat sauce, and they give you chicken so that you can dip into the sauce and get the
Right.
sauce into your mouth. So your
Tron,
hands don't
I
get dirty.
agree
I
with
love
you.
it. Yeah, I love it.
I wish they had an In-N-Out out in Ohio for you too, man. It sucks. In-N-Out, come on, branch out, bro. You guys are always busy. You guys have a lot of money. Just branch out to other places. Well, I don't know why
Yeah,
why don't they?
you know
Do
why?
you know
I know
why?
why. I know why. Yes.
Please tell me.
So
Please tell me.
they have a rule that all of their restaurants must be within 1 day's drive of the source of where they get the food. So like it's a supply chain problem, exactly. So like
Oh, okay.
they won't like open a satellite restaurant where like they have to ship it where it's frozen. That's why it's never frozen. So that's what they do.
Wow.
Interesting story. I realized like I don't know how true this is. I read it somewhere, but I think it's true. McDonald's was opening around the same time and decided against that model and said, "No, we're going to freeze it." Like why? Like why not freeze it or preserve it somehow? And so that's where McDonald's went all over the world, and In-N-Out has remained here ever since.
That is, I never knew that, man. Thank you for sharing. Honestly, now
It's
that really makes sense. And dude, it just shows that they really care about their products. And something that I noticed is there's no DoorDash or Uber Eats or anything for In-N-Out. And I think it's because they do not want any type of negative story in headlines. Like, say, a DoorDasher driver spits in an In-N-Out bag and it's not even In-N-Out's fault. Imagine that
Maybe.
went into headlines. That would,
Yeah.
I hear nothing negative about them ever. I mean, has there been any negative story about In-N-Out? Like, they really care about their product, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's
And
cheap
it's
for
so
the
cheap.
quality, bro. It's
Yeah.
cheaper than Jack in the Box, dude.
It's still the cheapest burger, I think, or one of the cheapest burgers around. That's not like garbage, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Like let's see. Another interesting thing is Chick-fil-A. When they came to California, did you notice they open a Chick-fil-A near every In-N-Out?
Oh, yes,
Look around.
yes.
Every
Yes.
Chick-fil-A, there's an In-N-Out within like less than a mile. In LA, it's even harder because like the one in Hollywood. So they open a Chick-fil-A in Hollywood, and I'm like, oh, there's no In-N-Out on this corner. Nope, In-N-Out's down the street. Forgot about it. Sorry, because I don't go to that one. I go to a different one. Like, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like your kid found a human tooth in a Jack in the Box burger. Ugh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, screw that. Oh,
But how did you
that
know
is
it was human?
terrible.
I mean, like, did you take it to a certified
It,
dentist?
it doesn't
A
matter
licensed
what kind
dentist?
of if there's a tooth in there, it does not
Do not send
matter
me a
where it came from. Oh, Tron redeemed. We will act out a skit. All right, so Tron said one of us is a cashier at In-N-Out, and the other one is a customer. Which one would you like to be?
I'll be the customer. Are you
Damn
ready
it!
for
I
this?
wanted to be the customer. Okay, fine. All right, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to In-N-Out. May I take your order?
Yeah. So you can, but here's what happened. I live out in Nevada, not near Vegas, and I had to drive all the way over here to get a burger. So I'd like to know why you don't open an In-N-Out in my small town of Nevada. Could you please explain that, sir?
Well, it's a
And
supply chain problem, okay? Our main concern over here at In-N-Out is freshness. Now, if we have a location that's more than a one-day drive than our location, guess what? We're going to have to freeze our product, and if we freeze it, it's not going to be fresh. I'm so sorry, sir.
yeah, but here's the thing. I'm gonna have to drive back 6 hours to eat this burger. Is it gonna be fresh when I drive back?
Sir, why don't you just park in the parking lot and eat it while it's fresh instead of waiting 6 hours? I mean, of course, nothing is going to be fresh if you're going to let it sit there for 6 hours. I mean, is that really our fault? Our fault? We're going to give it to you fresh. So just park in the parking lot and enjoy it. And you know what? I'm going to throw in a free milkshake.
I don't want a milkshake. I thought you said you don't freeze anything.
What
the hell is this kind of place? This is my first time in and out, and you guys are telling me you guys don't freeze anything. Then you offer me a frozen milkshake. What the hell?
Sir, okay, listen, sir. Okay, I don't want this to get out of hand. You know what? I'm going to give you a $200 In-N-Out gift card. How does that sound? Is that okay, sir? Please don't complain to corporate, okay? They're going to fire me. This is actually my second day here, and this is really hard to deal with, and I really just don't know what to do, and I'm literally about to have a panic attack. Sir, please, I'll give you a $200 gift card, please. Is that okay?
Hold on one second. Hello? Yeah, some pimple kid is just trying to tell me he's gonna give me $200.
No.
Gift card.
No.
You wanna go? There's a card. Yeah, I'll be home in 6 hours. I'll be home in 6 hours. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know that $200 doesn't even cover the gas. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, they said they don't freeze it too, but guess what? Then he offered me a frozen milkshake, and he was gonna dip the fries and the food in it. Okay, all right. What do you want? Okay. Do you have animal
Sir,
style
just
fries?
give me a second.
Guys.
Okay. I'm okay. I'm sorry, sir. Okay. Look,
Sorry?
I overheard
Sorry?
your conversation. You said $200 isn't enough. Listen.
No.
I'm actually, I work here as a part-time job, but I'm actually a professional musician. I have a guitar that is worth $50,000 in my car, and I'm willing to give it to you if you please just do not complain to corporate. Please, I need this job. I'm going to go on tour in 6 months. I need to save up some money. Please, just take the guitar and just get out of here, please.
Is that your only $50,000 guitar?
I have a second one in there, but do you want that one too? Because I'll give it to you if you want.
Oh, you would?
I'll give you both. I'll give you both right now.
I'll take both. But hold on. Do you have a case?
I have a case for both. Yes, sir.
I'll take them. I'll take the case.
But okay.
I don't want the guitars. I just want the cases.
You just want the cases, but that means that
that
means that I'm gonna have to leave the guitar in the car, and it's really hot outside, and I'm not gonna have a case for them, and they're gonna go bad. So I might as well just give you the guitars too. Can you just take?
Are they good?
Just take.
But are the cases? Are you saying the cases are air conditioned? I don't understand, sir. Like
they're insulated, sir. Please, I spent a lot of money on this.
Okay.
I spent a lot of money on this.
I got you. Here's what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen? Tell me.
I'm gonna order a double. Okay. And I want animal style fries. And I want you to put them in the insulated guitar case and give it to me so that I can drive 6 hours back and it will maintain the freshness of the food you just gave me.
Sir, that sounds like an amazing idea. Thank you so much. But wait, do you still want that $200 gift card, or can we just kind of scratch that? Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I lied about the $200 gift card. There is no $200 gift card. But sir, I will put your food inside of the guitar case. That is insulated, and that'll keep your food fresh. Can we just forget about the $200 gift card so I don't get fired? My boss is going to be
problem.
really
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the gift cards. Don't worry about the guitars. Just the case. I'm good to go. No problem.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
The food.
You look kind of familiar. Are you a Twitch streamer?
I'm a superstar.
I think I've seen your stream. What's your name again? Something legend of a legend. Are you that Twitch streamer?
Oh, you bet.
Everybody, of a legend's here. Oh my God, of a legend's here.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, look. Can I get your autograph before you go, please?
Sure. I'll sign one of the guitar cases.
Here, take that. Take that. It's an In-N-Out napkin that's been used.
And you play guitar, you said?
Yes, I try to.
You do even better. Here's another legend guitar pick.
Oh,
all yours.
This is the best day. This is the best day of my life. You know what, sir? You know what? I'm going to give
Flip
you
it at
that
you.
$200 gift card, and I'm going to go back into In-N-Out, and I'm going to quit my job. But do you think maybe I can live with you for a couple weeks until I find a new job?
I mean, I don't live anywhere. I'm not homeless. I just don't live anywhere. I'm just an idea. I just exist. So it's kind of, you know, weird that, you know,
Yeah, I do.
it's like I'm existing in your brain. So it's like not really a thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I don't want to get into the whole metaphysics of it, but yeah. Oh, hold on. Well, it's just I'll have my order and I'll be leaving now. I just need to make a quick call. Which car was your car again? So I know where the the guitar cases are.
It's that Porsche parked right behind the.
Oh,
In-N-Out.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's
great.
it's
Okay,
Porsche, not Porsche.
Got it. Understood. Okay, so I'll just have my food and go on then. If that's cool with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. It's
Okay,
been a
thanks.
pleasure.
No problem. Yeah, this guy right here, he's got like two $50,000 guitars in the Porsche.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, he just told me everything.
Fuck.
Yeah, they don't even have a case or nothing. All right, 5 minutes. Bye.
Who are you on the phone with?
I was just.
Who are you on the phone with? I heard that whole conversation.
It's just a personal memo.
Okay, well,
Personal
sir, your order's ready. I hope you enjoy the food.
I thought I took the food already. What the hell?
No,
Oh,
you took
man,
the
you gave me
napkin that had been
Yeah.
used to sign.
The napkin has cheese all over it. I've never been to this place before. I thought that was your food. I thought that's what
You
it was
said
looking
extra
like.
cheese, sir.
I thought that. I mean, yeah, but I did thought there's cheese and sauce on the napkin. I thought that was the
The
food. I
cheese
just took
came
it
out of my
ready to go.
nose.
Whoa. All right. I'm just gonna check my food real quick.
Okay.
There was a tooth in one of my burgers once. Human tooth.
It's not a human.
It was
tooth.
mine. All right, I'm good to go. Thank you very much, sir, for your guitar cases, and just happy to be here. And thanks for coming in and out. Or what are you supposed to say that? I don't know what's happening. I just want to leave right now because I gotta be somewhere in 5 minutes. You're gonna be working in the kitchen, right? You're not gonna be looking around.
No,
the parking lot.
I'm gonna be in the kitchen. I'll be in the kitchen.
Perfect. I mean, yeah, that's great. Keep it up, soldier.
Thanks, buddy. See you later. All right. Take a bow. Yo, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Great acting skills. I have no idea where the hell that thing went, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. That was great.
It went somewhere. We don't know where it went. We just went somewhere.
Hey, that was fun though. All right, let's see. So remember,
you guys like that move where we flipped it from like I needed it to be fresh to the guitar case. That was a sweet move.
That was clean, dude. That was clean. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, man.
I'm too proud of myself.
10 out of 10 on Rotten Tomato, 100%.
Nice. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
website.
So anyway, what's your favorite color?
Blue and black.
So is mine actually. Nice.
Really?
Okay. Yes. What's your favorite modern band that's come out in like the past 10 years? I'd say. I guess you can.
Modern band.
Can you
in the
say
past 10 years?
Yeah. Can you say Thrice? I mean,
Thrice
they've
came
been
out
out
in like 1999.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
They've been around for 22 years. Jeez Louise. There's like a human being right now that's like completing college, went straight through college, and they were born after Thrice started. That's nuts to me. 22 years. That's like, someone, 18 plus 4, you're at 22. Yeah. I would say modern. So I've been going backwards in music. I've been listening to Led Zeppelin, really taking it apart. AC/DC, Def Leppard. Oh, okay. I have a modern one, but they've been around longer than 10 years. But I think they released their first album 10 years ago. They've been around. I have two. They've been around for a really long time in the LA scene as a different name, and then they changed their name and released albums. I would say Steel Panther is like one of my favorites right now. They're really ridiculous, but I just think they're so much fun. Like they're just entertainment.
Oh, I've
and their
never heard
shows
of
are
them.
hilarious.
I got to check them out.
You've never heard of Steel Panther?
I haven't, no.
So they're okay. You may have like known about like these bands that would come out. Like Metal School was one of their names, and like they were around in like the Viper Room and playing all the LA scene, just playing that like heavy metal, like 80s hair heavy metal.
Right.
Clearly, I'm a fan, and like they decided to make their own music nowadays, um, like new instead of just covers, and it's really good. It's very very fun. It's a fun show. Their shows are so fun. I've been to like I don't know a ton of them. I'm like they're local to me, so it's like oh hey Steel Panther's playing tonight. Oh let's just go. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like they put on like a hilarious show, and they're really good. They're really good. They improvise well. It's a comedy. It's really I framed it as like a comedy show with like music in the background. It's just a hilarious. It's like they're always fighting. The singer and the guitarist are always fighting. They always have like problems, and like on stage, like they air out their dirty laundry. It's like hilarious. It's like so much fun, and they're funny. Another great modern guy that I've been listening to a lot in the last like few months, especially because I was like looking for music for the stream and then I came across him. I'm like very into it,
Uh-huh.
and I'm calling it like other people have called it this too, and I'm taking on the name. This like style of music called like neon metal, which is like a synth wave but metal style feel, and it's like perfect for like what I'm feeling right now. And it's a guy named Meteor. Like I'll write it in here, and he's so good, and he let me use almost all his songs on my stream, so I play a lot of his music on stream,
Oh,
and it's
dope.
just like it's really good. I love it. It's like guitars and like synths, and it's like it's strange. It was strange to me when I thought of it, but when I heard it, I was like, I like this. It just feels right. It's like 80s and like and metal and like I don't know. It's great. I really like him a lot, and I think he's pretty new, so he has a good catalog too.
Oh man, okay. I gotta check them both out actually. If you can send me like links to the stuff that I've never heard of to check out, I would love
Yeah,
that.
totally.
I love listening to
Yeah.
new things. Okay, let's see. Would you rather win $1 million or play a show with your favorite artist?
Do I get paid for the show?
Yes, but you're not gonna get paid $1 million.
Play the show.
Play the show?
Because then, yeah, of course. Then you get like a stream of income after that.
That is true. Yes. The people who really think about the question always answer in that way, and it's very true. Yes. Why not play a show with your favorite artist and also get paid and also get your name out there? Because that's you're thinking about the long game. $1 million is $1 million. Once you spend it, that's it.
Yeah,
But
I don't want a handout. I want a chance.
yeah.
That's the difference.
Exactly. I like that. Okay. If you were stranded on an island, what 3 items would you take?
Oh, for survival or for my sanity? Like, they're two different things, I think.
You can answer them in both ways.
Okay,
Survival
for
first.
survival, I'd take a cell phone. I would take like whatever like tower antenna I would need to make the cell phone work, and like I would take food, like just a pack of food, easy. Then I would just call for a rescue and eat until the rescue comes. If there's no hope of rescue, like hey, you are isolated on this island, we're never gonna come pick you up, and like there's like you know like tons of sharks in the water, like you cannot escape, like there's no way to devise an escape, and it's a given, then I'll go for definitely a music, like great headphones and a solar powered battery charger, and like just like a big iPad or something, and just
A
listen
big
to everything I
iPad.
want, watch everything I want, read everything else. Just an entertainment machine. I'm just gonna need to keep myself entertained, and I can also hopefully make music or write something, or you know what I mean, with that machine. So it's just it comes down to like an iPhone or an iPad, right? That's like and everything in one machine, and headphones and something to charge them. Those are the 3 things I would take.
I like that answer, man. I like it. If you were a Pokemon, which Pokemon would you be?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
What if you had to be a Pokemon though? You had to.
I don't know anything about Pokemon. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I would be Ash, the guy who
Okay.
catches.
Hey, I haven't heard that answer before. That's a really good one. So you'd be the
Yeah.
Pokemon trainer. You wouldn't have to be a Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go in and fight other animals like me. This is like animal fighting. It's like what, like dog fighting and bird fighting, like cock fighting or whatever. I'm not gonna be one of those guys. I'm gonna be the guy in the back making the money. That's Ash, right? Like, if I had to be in that world, I would definitely not be the guy who's like getting beaten up. I'm gonna be the. You kidding me? No. Got a big brain, guys. Big brain
too
thinking.
smart. You're too smart for these questions, man.
You gotta back up out of the arena and be part of like the management. That's what I would do.
What's your favorite TV show?
I have a handful of them. Okay, gotta say like There's the base TV shows like Seinfeld. I really love Seinfeld. I just started watching Seinfeld maybe 5 years ago for the first time. Like I seen it on TV, changed the channel, hated it, didn't know what it was about, never tried to give it an episode. Now, like it. Mandalorian is not even close to being a favorite. It's great. It's not
No,
close to being a
I've heard
favorite.
a lot of people who really, really praise it. I need to check it out.
It's fantastic. Oh, it's fantastic. Do not read anything about it. Just watch.
Okay.
There's a beginning and an end. It's like there's 2 seasons, I think, and they did a good job. There's a good narrative arc. It's basically it plays like a video game where it's like, oh, this is the boss of this level, you know, but like whatever. It's fun and it's got like fun. It's Reader's Digest Star Wars, but it's good. Um, I let me think. I really, really liked How I Met Your Mother. I thought that was a great, great show because of like the ability of the writers to foresee things that they were going to write about like 2 years in advance, and they'd make like flashbacks and like do all these things and like do tons of callbacks in like across multiple seasons. That was like I've never seen a TV show do that so well. I think The Simpsons are a good solid choice. Family Guy I like too, but I don't know if it's a favorite. I don't want to give them that title. I don't know. I don't watch TV as much as I watch. Oh, hold on. I really liked House of Cards the first couple seasons, and same with Stranger Things. I really loved Stranger Things.
Oh
1.
yeah, that's a great one.
I didn't see 3 because I got over it on 2. Yeah, I don't know. What about you? Am I allowed to ask you questions, or is this like a
Sure.
rapid fire round?
No.
What are your favorite shows?
My favorite TV shows. I really love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was a really, really big one for me because I really like the character development. You thought it was just good? I thought it was like fucking just amazing, man. I love that. I loved it. I
thought the story was great.
Let's see what else. I really liked season 1 and 2 of Narcos. I was a really big fan.
Oh, Narcos was really good. Yeah.
And the music, dude. The intro is just so beautiful, man. Yeah. Actually, one of my bands covers it. Our lead singer sings very, very well in Spanish, and oh, dude, every time we play that one, it just like really hits home. But I think those are like two really big ones. I also love Game of Thrones. I did not love the last season. Of course, they rushed it, dude. They could have ended it so much better. The ending was very, very disappointing. I'm not going to go into detail in case I don't want to give out any spoilers. But Game of Thrones,
yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen Game of Thrones at all? Okay, that's one you should definitely watch, I would say.
I don't have that much time in my life, man. Like
I know.
It's such a huge time commitment. Please commit 45 days of content watching consumption for this. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
I know. That's why I don't watch too much TV or watch too many TV shows, but when I do, I binge watch. So I just try to stay away from it because I want to focus on music and I want to do things that are productive versus killing my time on, leisure activities. But I mean, I do love watching a good storyline and a show or movie with good actors. And a lot of the times when I watch TV shows, whether it's an anime or it's like it's fiction, a lot of the times I do get inspired by some of the characters, especially if they have good characteristic traits. Like I like to think kind of outside the box, and even if it's a made up character with like special powers, it's more about the values that this person has, and I actually take a lot of inspiration. Especially when it's like an anime character who, has hidden powers, but they don't really know about them, and they have to work really hard and train really hard. And they meet a mentor, and the mentor guides them. And as I'm watching that, I start trying to relate that to my own life, and like, I need to work harder. I need to sharpen my sword, which is my guitar, and practice more. And I love the inspiration that you can take away from TV shows, but it becomes a problem when you literally sit there for 12 hours every day watching TV, and you don't do anything productive. That's what I like. I try to stay away from. That's why I stay away from video games now, because I get too addicted, man. I get too damn addicted.
It is addicting. I agree with you on TV. I don't like TV in general, but Netflix has put out some good shows. I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I'm like really into movies. I like movies a lot more because like they're longer stories and they're more developed. TV shows, I hate the TV shows like 2.5 Men, where it's like installments of 1 week and nothing results in anything and nothing has changed in the big overarching picture. Game of Thrones I know is like way different, but I just couldn't get invested into it. Like, come on, like
it's
I invested in something else. That's like what it is. It's like stock market of your time. So it's like I invested in this. I don't have any more time to invest in the other things. So it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
One thing paid out more than the other. All right, I didn't make it, but like whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, that's why the TV show one was hard. But I also like enjoy some shows, you know, like Seinfeld. I think is brilliant. You ever watch Seinfeld?
I've only seen 1 or 2 episodes. I've seen Friends. I know they're both a lot different. I know they're different, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've seen Friends, but I never watched Seinfeld. But I really, really want to watch it. I heard it's like just really good and really, really freaking funny.
It's
I just haven't seen it yet.
brilliant. It's ridiculous. Like the thing about Seinfeld is it's a show about nothing. Yeah, everyone says that, but it's really about just like life. And the funny thing is, like a lot of things that they do in Seinfeld are things that like me and my friends did on like a daily basis, like for no reason. You know what I mean? Like we'd like come hang out at like somebody's apartment or whatever. And we'd be like, oh, there's like so and so again, the hip checker. It's like, why'd you call her that? So, well, because she checked my hip. Like I went to go for a hug, and she like made a wishbone with her hand. I don't know if you can see it like this, and she like put it against my hip so I don't get like so I don't hug her. And like I turn into a side hug. It was like a weird move. And so like people call that person the hip checker. Seinfeld is the same way. Like there'll just be like something will happen and be like, oh, the whatever. And like, oh, and then it be turns into like a thing.
Oh,
And they
I
like
see. I see.
explain away funny like phenomena in life in that way. So like they talk about things that are like real life in
That
a
are
funny like
relatable. Yeah.
way.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's
Okay.
brilliant at that. Yeah.
What do you prefer, summer or winter?
I prefer summer. Although being in very cold weather winters where you can layer, that's kind of cool for fashion.
Oh,
I do
hell
like
yeah,
that.
man. I do agree with that.
But at the end of the day, I'm uncomfortable. So I'm more comfortable in spring, summer, like warmer weather. I mean, my people are built for it. But like, I just once you learn how to layer properly, it's cool. You can wear like a trench coat and like a nice scarf and like look awesome. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
And like a beanie or something. But yeah,
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of leather jackets. I love leather jackets, and
me
man,
too.
yeah, that's what I love about the winter. You can really layer up and look fresh, and really use up all your nice pieces of clothing. But
Right, right.
but summer's cool too. Throw on some shorts and a tank top, and you're chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were a rapper, what would your rapper name? What would your rap name be? I know you were a rapper, so
I
what
was a
was
rapper.
what was your rapper name?
My name was it was Thought Process, THOT PROCESS. I
Dang,
retired that name.
sounds
That
woke.
used to be my that used to be my there was an origin behind it. So like Thought was an ancient Egyptian god about for writing and for like reasoning and poetry. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do with hip hop music. So that like I took on that name. Um, but like Thought now means something completely different.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I don't want that. And like that was my gamer tag for so many years. So like Osok, for example, knows me as Thought. Like, and you'll hear him on my stream saying, "Hey, Thought." Like he knows me. He knows my voice, whatever. Um, but he also knows me as Legend now because like that's kind of like I had to retire the Thought Process name and take on a more holistic version of me. That's
Oh,
what it's
okay,
become.
okay.
So that was my rap name.
Nice, nice,
I
nice.
know people say things like what, like the first street you grew up on and like your dog's name or whatever.
Or like just
Like,
throwing Lil in the beginning,
oh,
Lil
Lil,
J
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
something, or Lil
yeah.
Legend.
Lil Legend.
Yeah, 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 exactly. What's your do you have a favorite video game?
No,
No?
I like a lot of them.
What
Yeah,
what's your like top 3 or top 5?
it's hard. I really, 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 really liked um the first Call of Duty Battle Royale, which is Blackout. It was on Black Ops 4. That was like something we've never played before, and it was the first time in a long time that video games have done something that we haven't played before in like shooting games. That
Right.
was so much fun, so much creativity. I also really liked The Last of Us. I loved that
Oh,
game.
yes. Oh,
It was a great
yes.
story. That felt like a Netflix series. I haven't seen number 2 yet. I haven't or seen. See, I said seen. I haven't played number 2 yet, and I don't know anything about it, so I'm waiting to play that. And I'd say Spider-Man was so much fun on PlayStation. It was a perfect game. It like it made you feel like you're Spider-Man and in a world that's like a GTA kind of world, and you could do whatever you want. Like you see a crime, you could go for it. You could just leave it be. You could just web sling all around town. It was so much fun. They did a really good job with that game. And it was that I don't know if they're my favorites, but those are the ones that like hit really well, and I really loved them.
I would definitely recommend playing The Last of Us 2. I know you said you haven't played it yet, but you are planning on playing it. I know it got a
Yeah.
lot of hate, especially when things got leaked. I don't know if you heard about it, but they leaked
Nope,
the
I don't know
story.
anything. Nope,
Okay.
I don't know anything. Yeah.
Play it. I think it was very interesting, but it was also very, very good. It got a lot of hate when it first came out, but I disagree with it. I think it's a great game. Once
Okay.
you play it, let me know so we can discuss it because
Sure.
there's a lot of craziness in there.
There's a lot to talk about. Okay. All
A
right.
lot to talk, and it's a
That makes me
long,
want to play more.
long game. So it's like just take your time
Oh,
playing it,
really?
and it's gonna be a time commitment, but it will be worth it. It's fun. It's
Well,
really
I'm
fun.
already halfway through. That's like I've already invested in The Last of Us. I gotta go for Last of Us
Yeah,
2.
and you can always stream it too, which would be super awesome.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
kill two birds with one stone right there.
Right. But I can't say blind playthrough now.
No, too bad. Damn. Never mind. Okay.
Damn, I can't be racist against blind people
Yeah.
by writing that. Yeah, whatever.
Do you have any embarrassing moments you had it says as a musician, but I guess you can say or as a
Sure.
lawyer, any like embarrassing lawyer stories?
Sure. As a musician, let me think. I think Superbad was at this show. This is a cringy moment for me. I don't know if it was actually cringy for everyone else. But like to me, I remember it as like, oh my God. Like,
What
and I
happened?
was talking to someone a while back about it. So I did like I think I had 2 songs, and what I did was one of them I made a call and response. So I was like, again, I had never played any shows. I don't think I had even gone to a hip hop show, and I was making hip hop music, and then went to go do like a quick 2-song thing that like someone was like letting me on stage for 2 songs. Like, okay, fine, like I'll do it just to start out, right? So like it's not like a full show,
Right.
and like it wasn't it was almost like it was open mics basically, but like but these guys that were like appearing on my songs like told me to come. So it was like a little bit more like a warm handoff, but not whatever. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So what I did was I removed my vocals from the track, but I also removed the call and response part, and then I create that I had created in my mind. What I should have done was put like in the track, like faintly, like a crowd like responding, so it feels like people are responding. But I didn't know. And then my friends were there, and I didn't tell anybody about this call and response thing. I don't know why I didn't do this. Just didn't think about it. They just called me upstage. I go up there, play my thing, and I'm like, okay, so when I say this, you're gonna say this. And people are like, what do you say? Like, like nobody heard. Well, when I say this, you say that. And they're like, huh? Like what? And like one of the girls was like, yeah, like whatever, she got it, right? And so like one person shouting, and like, what are you saying? Like I hear like everyone talking, and then the song's going. So I'm like, we're going, right?
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
I start doing it. I'm all, what is the whatever? And like I put the mic out, and like no one said anything. I was like, damn. Like
Oh,
no
that's one of those
like
moments
that
that
one
just
girl.
hurts, right? Oh man, yeah.
It was so funny. It was like, oh my God, like this, I did not think this through, but didn't have the experience to like think of that, like a call and response and like putting it on the track, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. And like usually you'd have a hype man, but I didn't have a hype man because nobody knew my song.
Right.
Like they may have heard it, but they didn't know I was going to do a call and response. It was just so dumb. I was like, all right, all right.
Well,
That's
those
something worth
experiences,
knowing.
they teach us a lot about what to do and what not to do when doing things like that, especially when it comes to crowd participation. But man, I could totally like just picture that where like, you stick out the mic, nobody says anything, and then
It's quiet.
you still have to finish the song on top of that.
Yeah.
And
And
you
then
don't
I
want
had
to
it
lose
like,
the energy. You don't
yeah,
want to
I
lose
had it
the energy
incorporated
either. Yeah.
had it incorporated in so many moments, and like in your head you're like, do I cut it out on the next one, but what am I going to fill it in with? Like I had removed like a hook to put this in, and like now nobody's biting. Like it's like, oh my God, that was so
Oh
dumb.
man. Do you have a milestone you always look back at in your career, whether it's as a musician or as a streamer or as a lawyer?
I think like it's there's a lot of milestones. So starting the streaming was a milestone. I think at one point knowing what I wanted to do, excuse me, and saying, okay, like I want this show, and like going out and forking out the money that I have from like savings, right, to buy a PC to actually make this like animations and colors and like all this stuff to make it work. Um, yeah, I think that was a milestone. It doesn't feel like it yet right now, but I know it's going to be in the future when I look back and say that was the turning point
Right.
where I was like, okay, turn it on. And then there's going to be other turning points as they come. I don't know what they will look like, but so far, I mean, I'm very lucky that like a lot of turning points have always been in the positive, or there's like a silver lining where it's like, okay, this didn't work out, but it allowed me to do blah 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 instead. And then you look back and like, oh, that was great.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I feel like we'll see milestones in the past. I mean, obviously, finding a job was hard. I didn't have a job for a while. as a lawyer. It was really difficult. So I kind of have a sense of what these people that are going through with the COVID thing. I don't want to make it like heavy, but like it's
Right.
very hard and it hurts because it's like I am a productive person and now I'm told like we don't need you or we don't have space. It's like what the hell?
That's tough,
Um,
man.
it's
Wow.
really hard. It's really hard for people and like I mean, I can't imagine what you went through with like everything being canceled completely out of your hands. Like you didn't do anything.
Right.
Um, yeah, I was like trying to get a job in the recession at the tail end of it, and like still like businesses were recovering, but like the legal industry was like, no, we don't. We have too many lawyers, especially in California. And it was like, do I go somewhere else? Like it got to the point where I thought I might have to leave California, and like I didn't want to, and it was like it was just an issue. And so like, what do you do? So I get it. Um, I get that. So there's a turning point where I was like, okay, I found a job that I had like a job that was like terrible, and like I didn't want to like they wanted me to do unethical things. I wanted to leave. Like it was just we broke up over it.
Right.
Me and that job. It was so like all these things like there's adversity, and then there was a turning point where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I got like something that I liked, and I was stable in. So those like things, yeah, those are turning points, I'd say.
Oh, okay,
But yeah,
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
If
thanks
that
for sharing,
if
man.
that answers it. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get the 10 out of 10 here. I'm gonna overshare as much as I can.
No, no, no. Yeah, that was great. That was a great. Thank you for sharing that, man. Honestly, that's really good. Let's see. Do you have any pet peeves when it comes to working with other musicians?
With other musicians, I haven't worked with so many other musicians. I think the one pet peeve that people have, and I'm guilty of it too, as Superbad and I work with projects, and I don't turn things back in. Like,
Oh
I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'll get to this. It's so hard. Like, that was an issue I had when I was like working on like my EP. I remember like some guy, like, okay, like I think it was two or three guys were gonna appear on a song. I don't know. I like it was gonna be more than one, and they just kept delaying and delaying and delaying. And they were local guys. They were actually in Riverside, local guys. I was like,
Oh
dude, what
wow.
the hell? So then one of them's like, here, like, and he just appeared on all their spots. One guy for me. It was a group, a hip hop group. He's like, sorry for the delay. Here it is. We got it done. And he did a good job. But like, it's like, dude, like, you guys promised, we done it. Like, I didn't pay them. It was like an exchange of like, I'll do this, you do that, like,
Yeah.
and they didn't do their part. And it was kind of annoying. Whereas on the other end, I had some Aussies because of my Australian connection appear on, and they were fantastic. So like they did what they said they were gonna do, and they did better. They did like a lot more than I expected. So like that's night and day.
That's
Same
beautiful.
EP.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can relate to that. You know, a lot of people promising just empty promises, saying that they're going to do
Right.
something, and they don't do it. And it's like, just say that you're not going to do it, or don't say you're going to do it, because I'm actually
Right.
invested in this project. So,
Right. Right.
but
I'm
it is
guilty of
what it
that.
is. Yeah.
I'm
I think
guilty of
we
that.
I think we've all kind of been there on both sides as well. I know I have.
Right. Right.
Okay. What is your favorite instrument to listen to? Do you have a favorite instrument?
Drums.
Drums. Nice, nice,
I can
nice.
never play drums, but they're so complicated. Like, excuse me, if you listen to a really good drummer that does like a lot, like writes in a lot of like amazing fills, or like not even just the fills, like they compose something. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree. I agree. Especially when you're at a live show and they have like say at a
yeah.
post-hardcore show or something, they're playing double pedal. They got
Oh
both
yeah.
those they got they got the bass drum mic'd up, and you could just feel it inside of your chest.
Right.
Every time they hit it, it just, oh man, it's a beautiful feeling, man. It's beautiful.
What gets me is like when they hit the ride cymbal in a different way, like on purpose, obviously. And you think, was it an off? Like, was it an off hit that just sounded? No, it's like with precision. The next time this part of the song comes around, they hit it exactly the same way, and it's like a way that's like unique. Or the hi hat, man. Like, I don't know if you ever heard of the band Me Without You?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
So one of their songs on Brother Sister, the hi hat work on it, I love it. I like love it. It's like it's its own. It's a full instrument. It's not just keeping a beat. It's its full instrument, like expressed in like a really complex way, and I love it.
Oh man, that's
I forgot what
dope.
the
Yeah.
song was. But yeah, I love the drums.
Okay. What's your favorite holiday? Do you have one?
Favorite holiday? I mean, like I think Pretzel Day probably. Yeah,
Is that a
Pretzel
holiday?
Day.
Is Pretzel
Oh
Day
yeah,
a real? That's a real thing.
pretty sure it's a real thing. I mean,
And
are
do
you
you
gonna
get like a free
attack me
pretzel?
for liking Pretzel Day?
Well, what happens
Yeah,
on
that's
Pretzel Day?
that's
Just
my.
fill me in because I love
You
pretzels.
go to
So what?
Wetzel's Pretzels. Go to Wetzel's Pretzels, or you go to Auntie Anne's, and you buy pretzels. It's
So,
true.
so it's Pretzel Day, so you have to go out and actually you still have to buy a pretzel. It's not like
You don't have to. I mean, not everybody. It's a free country. You don't have to go and buy pretzels. But if you believe, then you enjoy Pretzel Day.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Let me know when Pretzel Day is, and I'll definitely make sure I get a pretzel and enjoy it.
Sure. I forgot the day. It's saved in my calendar, but I'll get it for you right now.
Stays on your
Don't even
calendar.
sweat it. Don't even sweat it.
Last question right here, man. On a scale of 1
Yep.
to 10, how dope is my mustache?
Huh. That's a 11.
Oh,
Crank
yes.
it to 11.
Crank
gonna
it
show you
to
right now.
11. Spinal Tap. Yo, have you ever grown a handlebar mustache?
No, dude. I don't think I can.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think I can.
no.
There you go
But,
on the chat.
oh, is
That's
that one of your emotes?
Yeah, I just made it.
Oh, that's dope, dude. That's super dope. But yo, I had a great time with you, man. I think it's about time we wrap up. We've been on for like over 3 hours, man. That is insane. Bro.
Felt like 10 minutes.
I know, dude. This was honestly just amazing. The conversations we had, we went all over the place, man. And I absolutely loved it. And it just like, it made me appreciate you even more, like really getting to know you because, I feel like we're very like-minded when it comes to certain topics, and it was just really cool to hear your perspective on different things and like find out a little bit about yourself. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you for having me. It's so much fun talking to you. I always get to chat with you, like, on your chats, but it's like fun to have like a just full-on dialogue. We dive as deep as we wanted.
Even do like an in and out skit. That was like super dope.
We did a whole in and out skit.
Yeah,
that's gonna go viral. I mean,
I know, bro.
I just feel it. Like the millions of viewers watching right now are gonna go on YouTube and they're all gonna share it with their Facebook spheres, and it's just gonna go nuts.
Dude, we're gonna make so much money, bro. We're gonna make so much money. I'm
can't
gonna buy
even
you.
wait.
I'm gonna buy you a Porsche, man.
Fame.
I know. Screw the money. It's all about the fame, right?
The money will come, but the fame is the coveted. Some people make money off of being famous. That's all we need, just fame. That's all I want.
That's true.
We'll get there.
Yo, everybody in chat, everybody here live on Twitch TV, thank you so much for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to have ofaLEGEND's links down in the description box, along with mine. And I will see you guys next time. Again, thank you so much for being such an awesome guest, man. I had a great time.
Thanks, Jason. Likewise.
Of course. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace out.